Well, time has come, kind of. So we still have to do a few things before we can properly start his route. So when we get his good ending, we get the final CG at the end with the congratulations and all of that. But hopefully that won't take too long. Maybe it will take 2 hours and a half or something, so we can maybe have like half an hour or so of us properly starting Fujieda's route. Hopefully. So yeah. Let's go then. Hi, Serto. So yeah, I don't want to wait too much, so we can hopefully see a bit of his route. There is a reason why in the thumbnail it says Chapter 0. Hi, Mitho. Many colors, by the way. Many colors. Ball jointed though. Pursue the truth. I don't like his posture over here. It's very depressing. Begin the story anew. I have been watching over you all this time. All this time. Honestly, part of me wasn't sure how this was going to turn out. But I always believed that our wish could come true. And I still believe it now. Don't you? I wonder who's Chapter 0. Desire. So we are going to get the bad ending of this first. And that leads us to Chapter 1. And then we are going to get Frist. Equina's bad ending. And after that, we can finally get this part, Chapter 0 good ending, and proceed with Fujieda's good end route. Okay, let's go. A near vision screen woke me out from my slumber. Blinked rapidly, I opened my eye and shifted my gaze. By the way, for those who may not know, Slow Damage had a demo that you could play. This Chapter 0, that was the demo. I could see the blinded white light of the TV faintly illuminating the rest of my room. I was lying face down on the sofa. Using both hands, I slowly pushed myself up into a sitting position. On screen, dramatic horror music played as an innocent woman was attacked by a villainous man. Also, let me raise the volume on my end and a bit on your end too, guys. Something like that. The rude awakening combined with the binge drinking last night, or rather a few hours ago, filled my mind with fog. I could only stare blankly at the flashing screen. Apparently, the attacker was a vampire. Scarlet blood dripped from the woman's neck as the man sank his fangs into her. Judging from the picture and audio quality, this was some old movie. But I kind of liked the unpolished feel of it. Oh yeah. It was the perfect white noise for my fuzzy brain, and I stared at the screen, entranced. The victim cramped to her knees, and the vampire caught her with one arm. Her expression was pain, but the look in her eyes was faintly feverish. Very neat. The camera zoomed in for a close-up of the man's mouth, his pointy fangs staining red. I found myself wishing he could bite me next. Why so horny so soon? I wanted to feel his teeth in my neck. Toa bonk. What would it feel like? I couldn't help but wonder. My dude being horny first thing in the morning. The next day, I was working the morning shift at Morase Clinic. The place was owned and operated by a long-time friend of mine, Murashi Takuma, or Taku for short. This was his private practice. Why? And he was the main practitioner. I lived upstairs on the third floor while working here part-time as a receptionist. Naturally, I didn't choose this job on my own will. Hold on, I don't know why my throat is so... It wasn't like that this morning. Taco was the one who insisted on it. Ray, long time no see. Every now and then, Izumi would rush out of the exam room, down the hall and back. Ray was a mutual friend of my aunt Taco's. He also worked here part-time, though his main job was at a bar called Roost. But Roost didn't open until the evening, so he often spent his mornings working here with us.
Miyata-san.
I called the next person on the list. She rose from the bench where she was sitting and walked up to the receptioning desk.
600円になります。
I processed her payment without once looking her in the eyes. Then automatically moved on to my next task. Before I knew it, lunchtime had rolled around. I took the elevator up to the third floor, to my apartment. There I sat down on the sofa, lit a cigarette and had a smoke. On a whim, I looked over at the easel and flipped canvases scattered around. My art was the only thing I could call a hobby. Mostly I did oil paintings, so my room always reeked of paint. And the windows are always closed. That being said, I didn't paint on a regular schedule, only when the impulse struck me. So I could easily go months without ever touching my paintbrush. As I watched the pale smoke rise to the ceiling, the door swung open. Hold on, my throat. Why? In walked Taco and Ray, the latter of whom was carrying a big paper bag. He loved to cook and would frequently bring his creations to my apartment. For some reason, the three of us could always eat up here together. Bitch, you live like this? As soon as they walked in, they both started complaining. Setting aside the mess, I had a very good reason to keep the TV on as much as possible. I had always been uncomfortable with pure silence. I didn't know why, but the absence of sound made me deeply anxious. So whenever I was up here, I kept the TV on. That way, the jumble of sounds could fit the gap.
消すぞ。
Taco grabbed the remote and powered the TV off. Meanwhile, Ray tidied up the coffee table, then pulled a series of plastic containers from the paper bag.
今日のランチはね、ハンバーグとサラダ、コーンポタージュ、デザートにプリンもあるわ。
Are we going to get a food picture, please? He opened the containers one by one to reveal each dish.
うまそうだな。
昨日ね、お客さんから美味しい作り方を教えてもらったの。
客？ルースとか？
そうそう。まあタグ、お皿持ってきてくれる？
うん。
As they chatted, they worked quickly to set the table. Man, I miss the three of them together. Never separate them, please. Meanwhile, I leaned back against the sofa. I never had much of an appetite. I only forced myself to eat because other people would nag me if I didn't. Taco and Ray understood this, so they didn't comment on my disinterest.
それじゃ、食べましょうか。
Wait, sorry. They set the table with enough plates, forks, knives, spoon, and drinks for 3 people, then sat down.
いただきます。
Ah, I miss this so much.
いただきます。
They served a portion of each dish onto everyone's plate, and then it was time to eat.
うまいな。
本当？よかった。
I watched them enjoy their food. Then Ray stopped and looked up.
どうは？その顔、昨日飲みすぎたんでしょう。よく朝起きられたわね。
いや、映画で。
英語？
He blinked at me, puzzled.
映画に起こされた。悲鳴で。
深夜に放送してるやつか。ホラー映画でもやってたのか？
多分、吸血鬼。
吸血鬼って言えば、そういう噂が流れてるのを知ってる？
噂？
売りやってる子たちが被害に遭ってるらしいんだけど、ヒゲ面の男に買われてついていったら、何かを注射されて体が動かなくなっちゃって、その間に首に穴を開けられて血をすすられるらしいのよ。
首に穴？
Taco grimaced and put a hand to his neck.
首に穴なんてどうやって開けるんだ？
さあ、穴は一つだけらしいから、キリか何かかしらね。
キリコ。
でも実際は血を吸われてないって言ってる子もいるみたい。それに首に穴を開けられる以外は何もされないって。あとお金はちゃんと支払われてるんだって。そばに置いてから逃げるらしいわ。
Frowning, Taco wait, quirked around like he wasn't entirely combined.
なんというか意図がよくわからんな。それを吸血鬼と呼んでるってわけか。
そうみたいね。
大げさだな。そもそも吸血鬼ってのは都市伝説、空想上の存在だろう。
私もそうは思うけど、何か被害が出てるみたいだし。
誰かがふざけてそんな真似をしてるんだとしたら迷惑な話だ。もしくは吸血鬼に憧れた末の犯行とかな。
Ray nodded enthusiastically.
その可能性もないとは言えないわ。自分は神の子孫だなんて演説してる人もたまに見るし。例えば吸血鬼の映画を見すぎて自分もそうだと本気で信じ込んじゃった人がいたのかも。
My man got the Don Quixote thingy. Read too many novels about knights. He thought he was one.
とは、お前はどう思う？
Until now, I have been listening to the entire conversation in silence. I look over at Taco.
どうって言われても。
誰かからそういう話を聞いたりしてない？
ないな。
そっか。
The two of them then went back to their meals like they hadn't expecting any different. Sorry. Had to drink water. Hopefully it will help with the throat. This morning it was decent. I don't know what happened. I watched them for a moment, then reached over and grabbed the pack of cigarettes lying on the edge of the sofa. I pulled one out, but before I could light it, Ray glared at me.
ダメ食事中よ
わかった
I wrapped and put the cigarette back in the pack. Here we go. I think this chapter is fairly short, so it shouldn't take too much. Late one night, I had finished my shift at the cleaning and was on my way to roost when I stopped short. I thought I could hear voices down the narrow alley nearby. Normally, I would have ignored it and kept on walking, but I found myself oddly curious, so I approached it. At the entrance, I peered through the shadows to the other side. I could hear something rattling, so I squinted to get a better look, and saw two male figures in an embrace. Oh. Instantly, I lost interest and started to leave the alley. Do I mute? But then I hear one of them groaning. I guess it will be fine. I headed down the alley to the other end, where I approached them. Instantly, one of them lit up, spooked. He took off running while his partners fell limply to the ground. For the briefest of moments, I thought I glimpsed a breath on the runner. Then Ray's story about a vampire flashed through my mind. I crossed down and examined the other man, lying face down on the asphalt. He was a young guy, 18 or 19, red fluid trickling from his neck. Blood. I couldn't see any other injuries save for a round incision in his neck. Could it be? I pulled my phone out of my coat pocket and called and placed a call to Taco. After the call, Taku and Ray ran onto the scene to carry the victim back to the clinic. They took him to the medical ward on the second floor, where Taku patched him up and put him on an IV while he rested. A short distance away, the three of us spoke in Hassan's tones.
まさかこんな近くで被害者が出るなんて
Taku put his hand to his chin and frowned deeply.
首筋の傷は針みたいなもので穴を開けたのかしら
針よりも傷口が大きい。キリぐらいはありそうだ。
キリ
Rick grimaced like he was envisioning the pain for himself.
犯人の顔は見たのか？
ヒゲ面だった
At this, Ray's expression changed instantly.
吸血鬼の噂と同じじゃない
I thought back to what I saw of the culprit. He was on the scrawny side, with a breath and beard. I can't read. You know what the word is. Anyways, a fearful look in his eyes. It wasn't hostility or malice or desperation. It was fear.
彼にも話を聞いてみるか。
Taku glanced over at the young guy lying on the hospital bed, then walked over.
気分は？
The guy opened his eyes and looked back at Taku. Apparently, he was conscious.
大丈夫です
そうか。よかった。何があったのかを聞きたいんだが、話せるか？
He nodded, and his gaze shifted upwards as he thought back.
客を探してたら向こうから声かけてきていくらだって聞かれたから答えてそれでいいって言うからついていったら汚い路地に入っていくからちょっと嫌だなって思ったけどそういう場所が好きな客もいるからまあいいかってで抱き合ってするのかなって思ったら首に何か刺したみたいな痛みが走って
そのまま倒れたのね
The guy nodded.
コートのポケットに入っていた紙幣は もともと君のものなのか？
いや、
He said he's getting confusion.
入ってたんですか？
うん。
じゃあそれは俺のだ。
どういう意味だ？
Taco looked at him skeptically.
あの男が俺に払った代金ってことですよ。被害に遭った奴らもみんなそう言ってた。
要するに犯人があなたを買ったお金ってことよね。
だったらいいや。
He grinned.
どういうこと？
チクッと刺されただけで金もらえるんだから楽だしいいじゃんって。
Taco and Ray stared blankly and exchanged a glance. Meanwhile, I watched quietly. Yeah, I think this is going to be done fairly fast. Maybe instead of 2 hours and a half, we can have all of this done. The preparations for Fujieda's route in 2 hours, or maybe 1 hour and a half. The vampire victim didn't have any other injuries, so once he had recovered enough to walk, he left the clinic. I contemplated having a cigarette, but didn't have time to sit around for much longer. Wait, I forgot to check whether or not there was a nocif for work scene in chapter 0. I think not, but I will prepare the sensor screen just in case. But I think it's fine. I'm pretty sure the only nocif for work scenes here are with the main characters and like Kotaro and Mayu. I'm pretty sure. I think. Instead, I rushed to my feet and pulled on my coat. Okay, free exploration. Where is the mouse? Here. Murase Clinic. It will be fine. No.
Yo.
Yeah, what's up, Towa?
Yeah.
Oh, not much. About that machine we just had, I find it hard to understand why young folks these days are so obsessed with money.
No.
And speaking of your folks, something real weird happened to me the other day. What happened? I was on my way home from shopping, walking down Kowa Street, when I saw this weird group of folks, all of them in their 20s or so. Every time somebody walked by, one of them would shoot 3 hugs and grab. Oh no! They are whips! Oh no! Free hug? They all had signs that said like Mutan and okay. I was like, free hugs in the. Okay. Mutan understanding through physical intimacy and whatnot, but of course they didn't try to hug anybody who looked dangerous. But as I was standing there completely confused, some guy come out and hugged me too. It only lasted a second, but still, I mean, what's all of that about, Positive. Well, I guess it's about mutual understanding through physical intimacy, right? Yeah, I guess. But even then, why hug any other stranger? What are you looking for? Well, whatever. I'm going back to work. Gotcha. Shopping the street. I miss you too. Jun and I were just talking about Shinkomi. So it's like a surprising serious topic for you too. Hey Jun, we know how to have a mature conversation. Yeah, we are not all fun and games all the time, I see. We were discussing the difference between here and the mainland. Yeah, Yukon, get along of this. What is it? You know how the Takasato Gumi basically runs in Komi? Well, apparently that's not how it works. Things work on the mainland. I'm told they didn't have any organizations like the Takasato Gumi that manage entire cities. I'm honestly so surprised. Isn't that crazy, Towa? I mean, usually you don't want something like that to happen, I think.
Positive.
I don't know.
Yeah.
having the Yakuza running an entire city. You don't kind of want that, you know? Not surprised.
冗談でしょ
You're joking, right? What about you, Junko?
まあね
I know that's silly.
そうか
Ay. Poor Honami. Not you too. Oh, you both made me look like such an idiot. It's fine. At least now you have learned something. Bad Honami.
それじゃあまたね
Relax, cool you. Come on, we gotta go. See you later, Towa. See you later.
それじゃ
See you. Ah. Hagoita Street now. Rei?
あら
Ottawa, what's up? Going for a walk? Yeah, you? I'm head out to run errands right now. Hey, you know that young guy who got attacked by the vampire? He kinda, I don't know. I was just really surprised. But like, if he's fine with it, then I guess it's fine.
あね
Oh, that reminds me. Hey, Towa, I made a discovery today that I'm super excited about. Can I guess about it? What is it this time? Guess what? They make tiramisu flavored liquor. Isn't that crazy? Why would it
え
be?
面白いわね
That it's tiramisu flavored. They turn cake into booze. Of course he will be happy. You don't think that's kinda wild?
ネガティブに興味ない
Not interested.
も
Ugh, God, I knew you wouldn't be. You are no fan. Tiramisu liquor, of all things. What's next? A circuit of cheesecake
う
liquor?
気になるわ
God, I wanna drink it so bad.
なるほど
Why not ask the boss at Roast about it? Oh, you're right. If anyone will know about it, it's him. Maybe he will order
ま
it.
たね
Anyway, I gotta get going. See you.
じゃあな
See you. Are we on the road or preparing for it? We are currently on chapter 0. And we have to get the bad ending for this and Ikuina's bad ending. But this is going fairly fast, so hopefully in like 1 hour and a half we will finally fully reach Fujieda's route. Move. Kowo Street.
Oh.
Oh, hey there, Toa, how are you? How is it going? Good. Haha. I'm so bad at reading this. Good, glad to hear you're doing well. Any issues? Not really. That's good. All the young folks have been on the edge lately, so I have been worried. Sure. Something happened? Well, I hear some guys been circling around attacking people in dark alleys and piercing their necks with something. Negative.
ネガティブにそれは
Oh, the so-called vampire guy? Vampire? I was wondering why I kept hearing the word vampire everywhere. Guess that explains it.
そうか
I don't know why he's doing it, but at least no one died as far as I know. Still, I would like him to stop... I would like him to knock it off.
またな
Anyway, gotta run. See you later, Toga. See you. Move. Nine like district. Hey, Garasi.
あ
Oh, Toga-san, hiya. Why so sad? Something wrong? You seem kinda down.
あ
Tell me about it. Get a load of this. Just this morning, Sakaki-san gave me some spending money. So I thought I would treat myself to a nicer than average lunch. But when I got to the restaurant, I realized my back pocket was feeling empty. No! Garashi! See, that's where I normally put my wallet, but apparently I dropped it. So now it's tearing my hair out trying to find it. I sure hope some good Samaritan will find it and drop it off to Takasato headquarters. I think you don't realize in which city you're living in.
ポジティブに
なるほど。
I don't know about headquarters, but they might take it to the police station. You think so? Then that's where I will go. I'm gonna pray that it's there. You're so...
そう。
If I can't find it, I'm gonna be totally miserable, man. Pobre Garashi. I'm gonna keep looking for a little longer. See you around Towasan.
わかった。
See you. Okay, and now we go to Roost. Yes. Exploration over. Yes. Afterwards, I finally headed back to my original destination. Roost was my go-to bar of choice, the place tended to attract customers with unusual proclivities. When I got there, I spotted 3 of my acquaintances, Kotaro, Mayu, and Eiji, drinking at the counter. As soon as they laid eyes on me, they all waved me over, so I decided to sit with them and have a drink.
吸血鬼
Kotaro quirked a brown as he swung his beer in one hand.
何それ、ウケる。ああ、最近ちょっと噂になってるやつですね。
Mayu sloppily slurped his cocktail while Eiji nodded eagerly. Following the flow of the conversation, I would brought up the vampire rumor. I had brought up. Since intel gathering was Eiji's hobby, I figured he could know about it. I don't know about hobby. More like it's kind of his job.
噂そうなのか。
はい、売りやってる人たちが薬を盛られたって話は聞きます。けど、首筋をキリみたいなもので刺されるだけで、実際に血を吸われたりはしてないらしいですけどね。
なんちゃって吸血鬼か。
ちょうど見たんだ。
何を。
その現場を。え、そうなんですか？首筋に何かで開けたような穴があった。へえ。ってことは噂は本当なんですね。
Just then, I sensed something and looked over my shoulder. A man was sitting alone at a table, drinking from his glass. Whether he drained his cup, he could hastily pour more in front of the in from the bottle, then down it again. Then all of a sudden, he grabbed the bottle and started chugging from it like he had lost his patience. Now the other customers were starting to take notice.
あの人すごいですね。
Eiji murmured as he watched the man.
すっげえ飲んでる。
ああ、彼。
The manager whispered to us from behind the counter.
最近よく店に来るんだけど、赤ワインをすごい飲むんだよね。とにかく喉が渇くみたいで。
It was him, the man who stabbed the prostitute in the alley. I didn't recognize him right away since he was wearing a hat and his beard was gone. But there could be no mistake in him. I stared at him intently. I mean, yeah. He was started to notice me looking at him. And then, the next instant, he leaped to his feet and took off toward the
あ
door.
あ、お客さん、ちょっと。
He's going to leave without paying? No, you can't do that.
おい、ト
トワさん？
I jumped up and ran out of the bar after him. Okay, let's go. Save for... Okay. The man dashed through the dark alley.
おい。
I called after him and he slowed down. Then right as I had nearly caught up to him, he wheeled around and looked at me. Unable to escape, I hit the ground. This is not it. This is not it. Where do I have to... Hold on, I'm trying to check this guide. This path continues to the normal... Okay, here. He pinned my hands down and growled at me. I could see abnormally sharp canines peeking out between his lips. Desperate to escape, I had batted his jaw. I thought he would hit me back, but surprisingly enough, he rolled off me onto the ground. He rolled off me into the ground. I can't read today, I don't know what happened. I hop up and look down at him.
吸血鬼の真似事か。そんなに血が飲みたいのか。まさか本気で自分が吸血鬼だなんて思ってないよな。それとも血を飲まずにはいられない病気なのか。
The man flinches as he lay on the ground, his face turned away. Well. So I crouched down and looked at him in the eye. I stared unblinking, like I was probing his deadly depth. I didn't have superpowers, but when it came to reading people, I did have a special skill. When I spoke directly to someone's face while maintaining eye contact, I could draw out their darkest secrets. I couldn't remember when I learned this skill. Maybe I was born with a knack for conning people. Okay. Sure enough, the man's expression shifted, and he slowly sat up like he was bewitched.
お前が抱えてる欲望、俺に全部話
Yeah,
せ。
this is fairly short.
あんたは何なんだ。
We don't talk about that. He's a very weird dude. Okay, save. So after this, we don't have to do all of this again. Yes. Okay. And we are going to get the bad ending, I guess.
なあ、
You are the vampire everyone's talking about, right? No, I'm not a vampire. Positive?
ポジティブ。そうか。
Deny all you want, but that's how people see you.
ああ。気になるな。
You wanna drinking, don't you?
違う。
言えよ。
What is it you desire? Tell me.
それは
Desire?
ポジティブに。不安か。
It's something most people wouldn't understand, isn't it?
放っておいてくれ。
What are you looking for?
けど、
You're looking for help, aren't you?
俺は
No clue what you're talking about. I know that.
わかるよな。
I know you. No, you don't. Liar.
どうした？
What's holding you back? No, misunderstanding.
それでいい。
There is nothing weird about it. We all have our secret desires. You have got some pronounced canid teeth. Congrats on having a working eye.
なるほど。
Bet that makes it easier to drink blood, huh?
ふざけてる。
Shut up, I don't know what you're talking about. Your smoke is calming down a bit.
さて、
You seem like you are struggling. That's not...
ポジティブに。
If you really don't want help, that's fine by me.
じゃあ、
What if I told you I could make your wish come true? Very funny.
ネガティブ。考えろ。
Do I sound like I'm joking to you?
ああ。そうだな。
You may get what you want if you are willing to look for it. What I want?
よし。何？
You're really playing coy. Coy? If you're not interested, we can end the conversation here. This morning it was so cold, and now it's the other way around. I had a jacket the whole morning, but now I'm melting. Thirsty.
喉が渇く。
Oh, no, thank you. I think it's like close to have a jacket in.
血が好きなのか。
I mean, it was like 12 degrees or something. It's kind of cool. I asked him calmly. His eyes glimmered with uncertainty. Uncertainty? Yeah.
血が飲みたくてたまらないんだろう。違うか。
At last, he looked up at me. His expression clamped in frustration, like he was on the verge of tears.
そうだ。
At last, he admitted it. I gloated internally.
ああ、全部わかった。
Um,
飲みたいんだろ、血を。好きなだけ飲めよ。
そうだ。乾いた。乾いた。血が飲みたくてたまらないんだ。
This supposedly have to lead me to chapter 1. Supposedly. According to the guide. Because we need to get Equinas. Bad ending. But I played this so long ago, I forgot the dialogues that play. And this looked like we got it right. Okay, no. By the time I was finally free, the sky was already getting lighter. Okay, there was no scene. I stumbled home to my apartment. When I switched on the TV, the blinding light from the screen illuminated the dark room. I guess we got it right. I touched my neck. There I could feel a wetness. Blood. I with my hand on my pants, then pulled my coat off and walked to the painting corner where my easel was located. I changed into my coveralls, then grabbed a blank canvas and set it on my easel. As I picked at my trusty paintbrush, the memories rose to my mind. I had let the so-called vampire drink my blood. Okay, this was short and solid to chapter 1. So we can speedrun that. I'm not quite sure how to describe it. I never imagined my wings will come true. You had made me so happy? Yeah. But partly through, I pushed him away. Not for any particular reason, I just had a gut feeling that it was enough. The man looked disappointed, but quickly snapped to his senses. Then he wet his mouth with his hand and ran off. After that, I came home. He didn't drink that much blood, and yet... I sprayed my paint over the canvas, eager to capture the visceral raw feeling of the blood leaving my body before it faded from my mind. Blood red paint divided the canvas in half. I think this is the painting that the Nendoroid they made come from. I think I haven't put it on because it takes space. I don't have that much, but I think this is the painting that you can get with the Nendoroid. And now we should go into phrase. We should quickly collect everything and get his bad ending. So we can speedrun, like go back to the saving point and do it right. I hope the dialogues are in grey so we can skip them fast. Are they grey? Can we skip?
公民の A ブロックはかつての高里組の構想で廃墟となり、それ以来整備が行われていません。
おい、
Yeah, they are. First skip is with the end. So, yeah, bam, bam, bam. Yeah, like bad ending. Not the proper thing we should do. Please pay attention to this, okay? Because we are going to see this twice today. Pay attention. Like there wasn't a CG or anything like there is usually. So it is the bad ending, like the other ones that are not part of the main route, basically. The proper one, I think it has 1 or 2 CGs when you do it right. Intro manga as usual, yep. And if we speedrun everything, hopefully in like 10 minutes or so, we can get back and see the opening again. If we make everything correctly. Skip. I don't skip the exploration parts because I'm not sure whether or not you can automatically collect the like the inspirations points. I don't know if they are you get them or you skip them. I don't know. So I'm not going to skip just in case. We are just going to go very fast with all of this. Ta 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 ta. Move more as a clinic. Even though in this first exploration there is nothing to see, but you know. In a long time no see. Since we were kidnapped by Madarame, we weren't able to talk with him that much.
Positive.
I didn't realize that. How quickly do we notice difference? First, we need to get fries, bad ending, and then you will start seeing things. But we have to do all of this. You have seen all of this already. Toga's Atelier. This is the same. It's just getting phrased, bad ending, but the reason why I didn't make it earlier is because the vampire bad ending automatically leads you onto the main route, so it's like we can do the both of them at the same time. And I thought that will like save time. Positive.
Positive. わかった。
へえ。
Oh, that was new dialogue. Never mind.
よし。
He pulled a pack of green gum from his pocket, mint flavor apparently. Got it from a patient, but since you will smoke, you probably need it more than I do.
別に。
I prefer the taste of tobacco. And don't be like that, just take it. His face. He pressed it into my hand and I regularly accepted it. Of course I gave it back. A week before you turned this place into a mess again. If you could make it every 2 weeks instead, I would appreciate it.
それじゃあな。
He's that much of a mess. Okay. Shopping street. There is one scene at the beginning of Fujieda's route that the first time I played, I was like, hold on a second, what is going on?
あね
Positive.
ポジティブに。ああ、
Let's do this fast.
えも
Speed. Taimas. Yes. Now the next exploration, November 14. Is it over? Yes. There are 2 explorations. 3 explorations. Oh, I forgot the chapter 1 was relatively long. Se ha quedado buena tarde. Good afternoon, isn't it? I'm thinking in one of these moments of skipping dialogue, maybe I can go and grab some water because I drink it all at the beginning trying to clear my throat. I had just enough for another sip. Nope. That ain't gonna work here. Okay, move. Murase Clinic. I keep forgetting Taku's full name is Takuma. It feels so weird to refer to him as anything else than Taku.
No.
Ta ta ta.
ネガティブに。
あのい
Let's go. Speed. Move. Yonagawa Cafe. Long time no see.
ああ、
Is he going to get the honey toast or not? Nope. I mean, he doesn't need shopping street. And this is positive. Let's get this done fast. Talk.
これは。
いや、ポジティ
Positive.
ブ。よし。
Let's go fast. Again, I have never tried to see if skipping the dialogue or like skipping the exploration part, once you have already completed it, automatically collects all the inspiration points. I don't wanna risk it.
どう
Talk. Negative.
ネガティブに。
Because I remember I had one problem reaching Fujieda's route good ending
So-
because I was missing something. Like not... Yeah, I think it was an inspiration point. I don't remember. I had a problem and like I asked someone on the Just Blue Discord server, and when they told me that they almost reached that part and all of that they were already done, it looked like they were replaying this part, like that part in specific. So I assume you have to manually play everything to collect the inspiration, which, I mean, it doesn't take much, but it's also like a pain in the ass. Hello, you three.
何
Negative.
ネガティブに。 どう
Tolerate Mayu.
そうか
We are almost done. Tolerate him. Move. To was atelier. Yes. Absolutely no. What has Mayu done to you? Aside from having a very scene. He has not really. Can I skip? No, it's not done. I mean, he can shoot people from a very long distance. That's kind of cool. Can I skip already? Yes. That's the only thing. Let him be. I actually remember going around memes and stuff, and I remember seeing someone that mentioned Mayu as being top tier design, which I don't think so, but it's interesting to see different people taste. Let's do this fast. Yes, exploration. Blah blah blah. Move. Where's a clinic? I personally don't like Mayu's design that much. Either. Personally, I'm kind of toward characters with a lot of tattoos. Maybe because I tend to draw the characters of the media I like, and drawing tattoos is a pain in the ass. It may be because of that. I'm kind of meh towards characters with tattoos. More than you're like, I guess that's one extra point for Madarame, huh? I guess I also prefer them in characters because I can like
なるほど
I can avoid bad thing like you're going to look kind of odd when you become old and all the tattoos are fade and you are all wrinkly. You know, I can't stop but think that. Like think about that.
ポジティブに
So like, again, not against people that guess and not everything. It's just like do whatever. But in my mind, it's like, have you thought how you're going to look when you are like 80 years old and you are all wrinkly and those tattoos are fade off and you probably cannot get them fixed? Have you thought about that? Oh, we are done. Shopping street. Hi there, Mayu. Talk. Positive.
ポジティブに
Bad ones, colors face. Yeah, usually I think people have to get then work on again. Like get all the colors filled again eventually. But you are going to reach a point at some moment in which your skin is not going to be all tense and firm as when you are young. And they are going to look kind of old when you are old. That's for me personally. Emoto Park and it's positive.
ポジティブにどうもそうかそれは
Like I have thought about maybe getting something small, maybe, but also it's like, will I really be that into something that specific that I would still like to show it to people for ages upon ages?
トマじゃない
Nah. So
ね
negative.
ネガティブに。いや、
But
えも
those are so good. Full back tattoo of Wozniak for me.
へえ。
Get the keychain design on your back.
よし。
The keychain design, but 10 times bigger. Move. Okay, don't do it. I have seen people getting tattooed doodles or like scribbles that's their favorite VTuber has done. Don't do that. Don't spend your money on something like that. Hi there, AG. Какой-то streak. Positive.
ポジティブに。
Damn, you act fast, huh? You act very fast.
それじゃ
Move, roast, yes. Then is direct exploration to Murase Clinic, and then another direct exploration, and we should be done. I really forgot how long this is. Oh wait. Since we have finished everything, we are going to encounter Yeb. Hi there. Now, no matter what, we are always going to get this thing that leads us into Madrame's route, no matter what. Can I go to roast now? Oh, I didn't know you could do that. That's with the mouse. That's pretty neat. That's oh. Dos montadas.
いらっし
ウイスキー、ロックで。
Loki, they look funny. Can I skip? Yes. Oh, boy, sneaking arrows. You guys are dedicated, huh? Aye. Very dedicated. Now it's November. And it's to Murase Clinic. Damn, so much dialogue. Let me go get some water. Okay. Hopefully he wasn't too long. No. I can skip an exploration just in case. Yes, we know. We know. He's very horny. We know. Like everyone else in this game. When Fujieda not much.
もし俺が酔いつぶれたら、お前が介抱してくれるんだろ。
No. Come on, being so cool, bad. Maybe there is something on the city drama. Maybe there is something there. Stop being weird. I will never get over that. Never. It's so funny. Move. Vale. Yes. Intervention. Now we skip over. Wait. Hold on. Save for Equina's Madness ending. And now we scroll down to... Scroll down. Okay. Loud. Okay. Equina's Madness ending. Can I skip? Thank you. How many times have we seen this? How many?
話せ。
俺は
Hey,
俺は
let's get in. Let's get it done fast.
それ
So affection.
ポジティブに。
I feel you.
あ
That was new dialogue. I still don't have a
So
skip.
これは ポジ
Positive.
ティブ。そうか。
This is the same. Say nothing. Positive.
ポジティブに。確か
This is the same. I feel you.
に。ああ。
These eyes remind me. It was Makoto from Sweet Pool. If you know, you know. um,
欲望の子。
Flowers.
花。
What did you say about Sweet Pool? The eye bags that Equina has in here reminds me of Makoto from Sweet Pool. I think it was Makoto. I haven't played Sweet Pool in so long.
花が好き。本当に花が好きなのか。
If you have seen that sprite, you know
本当は
the hungry dude. Yeah. Wait, did you play the game? Did you watch a playthrough? Or did you just read everything?
まだだ。まだ足りない。
Because, like, how can you know that?
待ってくだ
Read
さい
all and sausages. His bad ending is it's ended. Well,
気になるか。
his ending. There is only one bad ending. But that is a bad ending. I don't know what to tell you.
はい
ネガティブ。
There is one artist that every now and then pops on my timeline that likes to draw Makoto and Sweet Pool related stuff. It's like, this is cool, but also...
お前。ポジティブ。安心し
I
ろ。
can make your wish come true. Towa-san. Say nothing. Positive again.
ポジティブに。ああ。
This is the same. Like.
面白い。言えよ。
Positive.
ポジティブ。助けてやる。
I will make your dream come true. There is the nice crack. Say nothing.
この傷跡。
And now. Scars.
傷。
And now I scroll back in this page. For the good ending of the
本当に興味
vampire.
があるのは傷だよな。落ちていくこのままもっとだもっと さらけ出せるだろ
わかりました。もう隠すことはやめます。
The difference in the way he's speaking. And now there should be like a very short dialogue and then the music, hopefully. So it will be like 1 hour and a half, like I said. And we can finally get into Fujieda. But this is important. Thanks, Windows. No virus. Thanks. I had gone too far. I had gone it Queen's Wish, but... The sound of heavy breathing grated on my ears. Then I realized it was my own. I was started to think maybe this was it for me. And I was fine with that. I didn't know how Queen was doing. My breathing was so loud I couldn't hear anything else. Maybe he was a goner too. And if so, well, at least his wish came true. I hate those... But humans are so beautiful inside. I want to see more. More. Hey. Okay, and now this. Oh. And we have to let the credits roll. And hopefully after this, everything should be thinner, like all the bad endings, like good. It technically is madness and euphoria endings, but me. And hopefully I have everything except that was Papa's Nick Coffin. I still have everything except for Fujieda's specific endings. So when we get the good ending, after like getting his bad ending, we will get the congratulations CG at the end. That was all the work and like organizing everything was for to get the congrats CG at the end to show you guys. I remember the first time I played and I thought I got everything. I was told that the vampire, that Equina and the other guys also had bad endings and I had to get them all. So like catch them all version endings to get the CG, the last one CG. It took so long. But hopefully I did my homework and we won't have this problem in this playthrough. Hopefully. Like, so many people had this problem with getting the final CG because of the amount of endings on this game, that on the Just Blue Discord server there is a pinned message with all the endings and all the things you have to do in order to get the final CG, because many people finish the game and still have this one spot on the CG gallery that was empty. So it's more common than you think to maybe skip one ending without noticing it in this game. Wait. I'm still waiting for the physical edition to be finished and sent over. I think there was a mistake or something like that with printing something, or like with the rights of the songs, licensing the songs. I don't know what happened. Please send over the physical edition of the game. I have been waiting for half a year. Except with Lamento, that I really hope they also translate Lamento is the only main game, aside from Sayanota, blah blah blah, is the only main game from Nitro Chiral that is left to be translated into English. I think they are not going to, because one of the voice actors on Lamento is very high tier nowadays, so paying for the rights of that voice actor to bring over the voice lines is going to be very expensive, so they have put it on hold for now, which is very sad. I really want to play Lamento, it's the only game that I have left. Has great music. I have here, like on the concert they made, they played some of the songs on the game and then they sounded really nice. Okay. Hopefully one day they will bring Lamento. Just please, I'm begging. Yes, we have this. Load. Yes.
No.
You're the vampire everyone's talking about, right? No, I'm not a vampire. Positive. I've been addicted to Koyaku's Bad and Ensign. It's really nice. Koyaku's was my first ever route in my first experience into a Nitro Plus child game. He has a soft spot, even though it's not my favorite one. And his songs too. I used to play them on loop a lot in the past.
Positive. そうか。
Deny it all you want, but that's how people see you. Totally miserable man. That was Papa Sneak coughing. You must be miserable. Shut up.
言えよ。
What is what is it you desire?
それは。
Play
ポジティブ。
along.
不安か。
It's something most people wouldn't understand, isn't it? Just leave me alone. What are you looking for?
けど。
You're looking for hell, aren't you? Is Noise as annoying as he looks? Yes, but he's like the Cap Moe kind of character. He's kind of annoying, but he has a cute side, okay? But yeah, he is kind of annoying. I mean, he is the youngest of all the cast. Hold on. He's the youngest of all the cast in Dramatical Murder. I think he's 18. He's a teenager. I don't know what are you expecting of a teenager other than being annoying. Also, sorry, the ponytail I made was very poorly done. Hold on. Okay. No clue what you're talking about. Oh no. What did I click? Oh no. What are you looking for? I know that. Okay.
よし。わかるよな。
I know you, liar.
どうした？
It's holding you back. Now that I think about it, Noise and Sebek from Twisted Wonderland are kind of alike.
ポジティブ。
They are both kind of annoying,
それでいい。
but they have like a cute side. They also have similar colors too. Jonathan, yeah, I guess they like it.
あ
Pronounce Chinese teeth. Another English so bad. Now I'm
あ。な
here.
るほど。
Ta ta ta. His smoke is thrashing.
さて。
Positive.
Positive.
So far there has been only one line that has been different. I think. Positive?
じゃあ
Negative?
ネガティブ考えろ。
What you're looking for?
そうだな。
You really can fuck this up just by one line, huh?
ああ
I didn't notice that because I was already
Nani?
using a guide. But just with one line of difference? Wait, we wanted that? That's what we wanted?
喉が渇く。
Okay. I guess this is the other way around. We need to crack the glass
血が好きなのか。
for it to work. Huh. I asked him calmly, his eyes gleaming with uncertainty.
血が飲みたくてたまらないんだろう。違うか。
At last, he looked up at me. His expression climbed in frustration, like he was on the verge of tears.
そうだ
At last, he admitted it. I grunted internally.
落ちていく。このまま。いつかお前、人を殺すな。何人も殺すよ。
そうだ違うんだ
My dude be panicking and always having the time of his life. Okay.
なぜなのかはわからないけど血が飲みたくて乾いて仕方がないんだワインで我慢しようと思ったけど他のものじゃダメだ
The man glanced at his own throat as he spoke in a quavering voice. His lips parted as he gasped for breath, and I caught sight of those pointy cannons again.
血が飲みたいんだ
If I had to guess, he must probably had an appetite disorder like Pika.
飲んでもいい。
Pika? Pika? I had never heard that. I looked at him blankly, gazing into his eyes like I was searching his soul. Panic rose up in his eyes, but he seemed unable to tear it away from mine.
その代わり、書かせろ。お前のその、抑えきれない衝動。
Because the poor man doesn't want to do it, but Toba keep pressing him. I spoke in a low whisper, then rolled up my coat sleeve and exposed my arm. The skin was lashed with dozens of scars, warping the skin in a sort of pattern. I smiled at him faintly. The man took one look at my scared arm and swallowed hard.
こんな体だ。好きにしろよ。血を吸うなりなんなり。だから、来い。
For a second, he froze in hesitation. Then he grabbed me by my shoulders. His hands were shaking. With a chuckle, I pulled my fabric away from my neck. This time, he looked at me without missing a beat. I don't know if you will want that face, but there you have it. There was a sharp pain as he pierced my skin. Entranced, I closed my eye. This man didn't use a nice pick. He used his own teeth. Do I have to mute? We will see. I could hear a slurping sound right by my ear, and a coppery smell clothed my nostrils. I could feel my neck growing warm and wet. Apparently the water was trickling down from the wound and staining my clothes. I could hear my pulse throbbing unusually loud and hard, just in case. He's having the time of his life! As I enjoyed the sad feeling of someone sucking the blood from my veins, I opened my eye, then closed it again. At last my dream has come true, and yet for some reason, I find myself crushed by guilt. By the time I was finally free, the sky was already lightening. The front of my cell was now completely soaked. Lightheaded, I stand back to my place and switched on the TV, like always. The TV screen was the only light source in the dark room, illuminating the bloodstains on my clothes. Yeah, he looks like he's in a wayward shape. Gasping for breath, I stumbled on shaky legs over the trash and gnarled piles littering the floor. Hands shaking, I pulled my coat off and walked to the painting corner where my easel was located. I grabbed my paint-spattered coveralls off the floor and pulled them on. Then I picked up a blank canvas, sitting on my easel and sat down in front of it. My body was so heavy, the slightest movement sapped all the strength I had. Nevertheless, I picked up my paintbrush. My mind replayed the events from last night. After the so-called vampire had his fill of my blood, he snapped back to his senses, looked at me in horror and ran off. Abandoned, I staggered dizzily to my feet, then used the walls to help me along. My heart was pounding 100 miles a minute. My extremities felt cold, and my mind was growing fuzzy, but I was smiling. The sensation, the stench of blood, the look on his face as he drank from me. He looked so happy. I thought hard, remembering and reliving as many details as I possibly could. Then I dipped my paintbrush into the fresh paint. A wet dark lines shot across the canvas, painting its purity. Painting its purity. I cannot read. End, but with pink instead of black. I'm so close now. Just a little farther, and it should be within my reach. All this time, I have dedicated my life to one thing, only finding the truth. I know that and I don't regret a single second. Once it's all over, I will lose all reason to live, but I can accept that. I can accept that. To me, this world is hell on earth. The last chapter. Equal. Hey, finally! When is the intro going to play? Oh, nightmare, no, long time no see. Scarlet light. I could see it spreading through my fascia and focused vision. Silence, darkness, fear. I didn't want to be alone, but no one was there. I was afraid. Just then, I looked down. There, in the watercolor wall, I could see a shadowy figure. The figure was too blurry to see clearly, but I could tell that they were smaller than me. Still, I could feel their strength. Something about it felt incongruent with the rest of the hazy wall around us. I didn't understand. What exactly was I looking at? I didn't know. Yeah, you had the kitchen that looks like it.
おいおい起きろ。いつまで寝てるんだ。
My head hurt like hell. In addition to the headache, I could hear a loud voice. I squeezed my ears shut, then slowly opened it. I felt like I had an awful, terrible dream just now. I couldn't remember what happened, but my whole body was freezing cold, like I was sweating buckets. I felt nauseated too. Not a great start to the morning.
もう昼だぞ。出勤時間はとうに過ぎてる。
Taku orange smoke grazed the corner of my vision. Lethargically, I pushed myself up and rested my head against the back of the sofa. He crouched down and peered at my face.
お前な、常々思ってるんだが、本当に働く気があるのか？
ああ。
おい、ちゃんと目を見て返事しろ。
My aching head felt like it weighed a ton, so I couldn't be bothered to lift it.
おお、ならとっとと起きて支度しろってんだ。
With that, he ruffled my hair.
たく。
Exasperated, he sighed heavily, then set something down on the edge of the bed.
ここに置いておくぞ。
It was my laundry, clean and folded in a stack. I didn't ask him to do it for me, but he insisted on cleaning my room and my clothes, so the place wouldn't turn into a big sleep.
タク。
ん？
薬変えてほしいんだけど。
どうした？
今のやつ、効きが悪くなってるかも。
At this, he frowned.
そうか。後で少し見るか。
ああ。
それじゃ早く来いよ。
With a gently timid tone, Taco turned and left the room, his white lab coat floating behind him. The headache and nausea hadn't gone anywhere, but nevertheless I forced myself to my feet. As long as I kept myself moving, maybe I could distract myself from it. With that thought, I grabbed my cigarettes and lit one up. Grimacing, I took a drag, then grabbed some clean clothes at random from the stack Taco had brought me. After the back alley hookup last night, my body felt like lead. Not only that, but my sleeping pills gave me bad dreams. So yeah, I wasn't having the best morning. I felt the sudden urge to eat something, but I figured I could tide myself over with a little booze. The one time you feel like eating, eat something, but then again probably he has nothing. Probably there isn't any food in his room. As I started to head for the bathroom, my eye lands on the pocket watch hanging from the easel. I pick it up and flip it open for fun, but its hands were frozen in time. I put it back, then look up at the clock on the wall, 11:50 a.m. Then I went into the bathroom to take a shower. Pay attention, okay? Important. Oh. 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 We are officially in Fujieda's route. Once I got ready and came downstairs, I found Arimura Tsukasa sitting behind the reception desk.
Yo,
I stopped at the reception desk and waved my hand in front of Arimura's face. He gave me a dirty look that said, "You are late." Technically, I was supposed to be covering the reception desk, but Arimura must have come in to cover for me. This happened on occasion, and that occasion happened a lot. His smoke darkened and began to wreathe.
そういえばトアさん、いい加減荷物をちゃんと持って行ってくださいよ。スタッフルームに置いてあるんで。
ああ、
放置するなら処分しますから。
He was referring to my mail. Sometimes I would buy art supplies or books online, but other than that, I never got any mail. So if I received anything else, I assumed it was junk and didn't bother collecting it.
それでいいよ。
He says narrowed even further, but I ignored him and stepped into the staff room. That box looks kind of familiar. The reception desk and staff room were divided by a single curtain. I glanced at the table. My eye landed on a brown cardboard box sitting amid the stack of junk mail. But I wasn't interested, so I pushed past the curtains to the reception desk interior. Arimura gave me a dirty look and stepped out the way I had come in. Beating back a yawn, I turned my attention to the monitor hooked up to the work computer. The one gets good influence for once. I mean, Ray, it's one of the best endings he can also get. He learns to eat proper food, you know? As I robotically carried out my work, the morning ended uneventfully. During break time, I went into the staff room and sat down at the table. We are talking about the good ending. We are talking about the good ending. As I reached out to grab my pack of cigarettes, I caught a sight of my junk mail again. More specifically, the small cardboard box sitting beside the stack of envelopes and postcards. Something flashed through my mind. I had ordered some art supplies a while ago, but I was told the items were on back order, so the shipping was delayed. Had they finally arrived? I took a look at the shipping label. Sure enough, it was addressed to me. I picked it up, pulled off the packing tape, and opened it. Inside, I found all kinds of random things. A grimy bunny toy, 4 photographs, and a sheet of paper. 3 of the photos were headshots of different men, none of whom I recognized. Each had a name scrolled on the back. The more I dug into the box, the more my head started to throb. Apparently, I was still feeling under the weather. I looked down at the stuff I had pulled out onto the table. The dirty bunny looked to be pretty old, like someone's cherished childhood treasure. I picked it up and turned it around. Just then, there was a sound ringing in my ears, drawing out all the other sound. My vision began to spin. I lost my balance and toppled out of the chair. My breathing grew heavier, and my whole body broke out in cold sweat. Unable to endure the nausea, I used the table to push myself to my feet, then hurried to the sink. That was all very accurate, but I puked stomach acid into the sink, then resent it down the drain. Shoulders heaving, I leaned under the faucet and gargled repeatedly. Then I turned off the water and gripped the counter with both hands as I endured a wave of intense vertigo. Once I recovered, I let out a deep sigh and went back to the table. No, it's not Team Fujieda. Do you see the names on the paper? Asakura, Ikuina, Kirihara. Can't you read? Asakura, Ikuina, Kirihara. No. Asakura, Ikuina, Kirihara. Don't they look familiar? I still felt like shit, but I wanted to look through the rest of the stuff in the box. I seemed to recognize this bunny toy from somewhere. Was it the one my dead sister used to have? A fuzzy outline of my little sister rose up in the back of my mind, then quickly vanished. Next, I picked up a photograph of what looked like a painting, but the lighting was poor, so I couldn't see the details of the painting very well. And yet, for some reason, it gave me pause. Maybe it was a famous painting I have seen around somewhere. Next, I looked at the 3 headshots. I had never seen any of these men before. Why would someone send this to me? The first time I saw this, I was like, is this the Matrix? What is going on? What is happening? What is going on? Lastly, I turned my attention to the sheet of paper. One edge was red, suggesting it was ripped from a book. Beautiful, the color of my son. I don't have his cats treated. He may not be beautiful for long. He'd end up with a few scars. I'm sure it will give him a flavor of his own. Quiet day, he's quiet. He can rest for a while. I can read the honestly feel, simple feeling. It was a handwritten record entry with a list of things like lacerations on back and other descriptions on goods on body parts. Asakura, back incision. Ikuina, chest incision. Kirihara, clavicle, right. Puncture? Yeah. There were also 4 names listed: Ikuina, Asakura, Kirihara, and me. Evidently, me was whoever wrote these notes in the first place. I look back at the headshots. On a whim, I flipped them over and found a name written on each. The same names written on the paper. Having looked through the entire box, I frowned in confusion. The toy and photos weren't that interesting to me, but the written descriptions of injuries certainly were, because they all seemed to match the scars on my own body. But in that case, who sent it? Why could they send it to me? Whose handwriting was this? Just then I heard the content slid open and Animura peeked in.
今物音がしましたけどどうしました？
なんでもない。
Reflexively, I went around to face him, hiding the box behind my back. He looked at me suspiciously.
朝から具合が悪いんでしたっけ？レイさんが来たら言っておくので休んでてもいいですよ。今そんなに忙しくないですし。
それじゃお言葉に甘えて。
He still seemed suspicious, but nevertheless he disappeared behind the curtain once again. After he was gone, I started feeling dizzy again, so I sat limply in the chair. Then I packed everything back into the box and let out a breath. Arimura had the right idea when he suggested I go back to my place. Apparently this box was connected to my past somehow. No memories I could scarcely recall. To memories I could scarcely recall. I know I'm not the best at reading out loud, but man, today is very bad, huh? Fragmented images flipped in my mind. Perhaps it wasn't that I couldn't remember. Perhaps I just didn't want to. But what was I so afraid of? Suddenly my heart began to pound, and I sucked it as a key breath. One day will be gold. I mean, taking into account that I only play, for the most part, visual novels, hopefully one day. After that, I went back to my room and got some rest, then returned to work. I still wasn't feeling great, but I endured it until the closing time. As I sat, snapped on a bench in the empty waiting room, Rhea arrived carrying a mug in its
体
hand.
調が悪いのにお疲れ様。はい。
He offered me one of the mugs, and I took it. Steam rose from the freshly blended coffee held within. Steam rose?
今はどう？まだ具合悪い？
まあな。
I sipped my coffee and nodded.
とは体調はどうだ？
As soon as Taku entered the waiting room, he walked straight over to me, looking worried.
朝も体調が悪そうだったな。今見るか？
いや、
I shook my head and took another sip of coffee.
だってスタッフルームで倒れたんでしょ？有村君から聞いたわよ。青白い顔してるのはいつものことだけど、倒れるなんてめったにないじゃない？
ちょっとふらついただけだ。
でも
To cut him off, I handed him my half-empty mug, and he took it on reflex. Then I rose to my
ちょっ
feet.
ととは？
どこへ行くんだ？
気分転換。
At this, their expression darkened.
この間のユーフォリアの影響なの？あの後のとはなんだか普通じゃなかったもの。すっごくフラフラしてて、目の焦点も合ってない感じがして、これまでのユーフォリアとは何かが違うって思って。
本人がいるのに堂々とそんなこと話すなよ。
I smirked at them, then headed for the exit.
ドア
Ray called after me, but I ignored him and headed outside. The cool night air engulfed my body, smoothing my discomfort. Hoping to clear the fog from my mind, I took a deep breath. It's white! The next morning, I wasn't scheduled to work, so I slept in until just before noon. Dark blue vest? You can't barely see! Like, you can barely see any difference! Like, it's so dark, it blends with the dark background. Once again, I felt less than great. Slowly, I pushed myself up from the sofa. Then I reached out to the coffee table to have a smoke, and my fingertips brushed something I didn't recognize. It was the cardboard box from yesterday. Instantly, my fasting mind snapped awake. I pulled the box close and peered inside. The bunny toy, the torn sheets of paper, the photo of a painting, and the 3 headshots. When they entered my field of vision, everything began to sway. Shut up. My ears were ringing loudly, and my chest felt tight. I pushed the box back and covered my eye with one hand. I let out a sucky breath and gritted my teeth. Willing my racing heartbeat to get back under control, I lay back down on the sofa. When I looked up at the ceiling, however, I suddenly became conscious of the silence. I reached out, grabbed the remote, and switched on the TV. Then a familiar drone filled the emptiness, and I let out a small sigh of relief. As I started to feel better, I slowly began to process what was being said in the background. The leader of the Takasa Tokumi has died. According to the newscaster, at least. Technically, the guy was my father, but the news of his passing didn't affect me at all. I couldn't even remember what he looked like. He was essentially a stranger to me. Slowly, I sat up and grabbed my cigarettes off the coffee table. Then I lit one up, and as I squinted through the rising smoke, I reached for the box once more. And like last time, I managed to look at the contents without issue. I picked up the poorly lit photo of the painting and examined it carefully. But try as might, I couldn't remember seeing it anywhere. Would someone else recognize it? The first person I could think of with a wide breadth of knowledge in the fine arts was the manager at Roost. I put the photo back in the box, then kicked it over to the corner of the room. I decided I would head to Roost once it opened. Late that night, I had a bizarre experience on the way to Roost. Everyone I passed on the street exuded warped, venomous-looking smoke. Did I just happen to encounter a lot of similarly minded people by chance, or was I losing my thoughts? The farther I walked, the worse I started to feel. Eventually, I stopped, leaning my hand against a building. My head felt heavy and my chest felt tight. Closing my eye, I gasped for breath. Quietly, I cursed my shitty malfunctioning body. Maybe I could feel better if someone came and punched my lights up. Just then, I hear a series of footsteps approaching.
おい、見ろよ。
あれトワだ。トワさんだ。
I look up and spotted Kotaro, Macho, and Eiichi walking towards me. Behind them, I could see Garashi tagging along too. They gathered around me in a loose
ト
circle.
ワさん、どうしたんすか？具合悪いんすか？
He's the only one that looked worried.
みたいですね。顔が真っ青。トワ、平気？
飲みすぎただけだ。
I made up an excuse and lay back against the wall. The person in my chair was still there, but I played it off casually.
どこか行くのか。
ああ、デスマッチエリアにな。 五十嵐は事務所へ戻る途中だ。
榊さんが次の組長に決まりそうなんで遠野さんが荒れてるんですよ。で示し合わせたみたいにデスマッチエリアも荒れちゃってて。
何かあったのか。
無差別暴行が起きてるらしくて、犯人が見つかってないから俺たちも行く羽目になったよ。アニメ見る時間が削られる。
アニメなんざいいんだよバカ。とはお前も行くか。
いや、
Then I noticed Igarashi had gone quiet, and when I looked over, I realized he looked pretty sad.
どうした？
組長ってそのトワさんの。
ああ、親父なんだよな、本当の。
だからトワさん落ち込んでるのかなって思ったんすけど、どうな。
別に。
Oops, sorry, Igarashi.
落ち込んでるようには見えないですね。
そうっすか。
むしろお前の方が落ちてるね。
そうかもしれないっす。
He slammed his shoulders.
俺もちらっとは考えたけどな。トワの具合が悪そうなのは親父が死んだせいなのかって。
冗談だろ。
もしそうだったら慰めてやろうと思ったんだけどね。
With a suggestive smile, Kotaro slung an arm around my shoulders.
慰めてくれよ。
I was frustrated with my body for being out of sorts, so the words came out sounding like a challenge.
本気か？
あ
トワと遊ぶのずるい。
Mayo grinned like he wasn't all that jealous.
お前も来るか？
いや、アニメ見るから。
言っとけ、オタク野郎。
Kotaro waved him away like he was shooting a stray.
それじゃあまゆさんと僕でデスマッチエリアですね。五十嵐君も途中まで一緒に行きましょう。
あ、うっす。
ああ、後から追いかけるわ。
Hold on. With one arm still around my shoulders, he used his free hand to wave goodbye. Originally, I was headed to Rust, but decided to change my plans at the last minute. I was desperate to stop feeling like utter shit. Doesn't looks familiar. Besides, I could always go to Rust some other night. With that thought, I walked off with Kotaro. As far as I know, there isn't two scenes with Kotaro. As far as I know. The next day, my whole body felt like lead, right from the minute I woke up. Last night, I hadn't asked Kotaro to fuck me even rather than just... That's a sentence. Aren't this horny? I don't think the main... like the main line of Nitro Plus games have like regular otome kind of games or like hentai / sex game. I don't think they have those. Last night, blah blah blah. He wasn't a gentle lover to begin with, but last night I wanted him to harm me as much as possible. That was what I was in the mood for. Trapped in a body that could scarcely function, I was staying on the sofa for a while, then headed out to Rust. I didn't end up going last night after my run-in with the boys. But tonight I was planning to take the old photo to show to the manager. The photo of the painting, sent to me in the cardboard box. When I arrived, I opened the door and walked in. Then I crossed the tin bar to the counter and sat down, at which point Rick walked over.
あら、トア、いらっしゃい。注文は？
お任せで。
店長、お任せだって。
はーい。
The manager nodded as he wave a glass. But then he looked at me like he had something he wanted to say.
組長のことをお悔やみ申し上げます。
At this, his expression shifted awkwardly.
お父さんだものね。
他人だ。
でも
He started to protest. Hold on. Oh no, why they have to start talking so early today? Hold on. He started to protest, but gave up and fell silent.
空いてるお皿とかグラス片付けてくるわね。
And with that, he walked off to the table area. Meanwhile, the manager quietly prepared my drink. Amid the awkward tension, I pulled my cigarette lighter and cell phone out of my coat pocket and set 10 on the counter. But before I could light one up, I overheard some customers chatting at a nearby table.
見た？ルーストのブログに載ってる写真。
見た。偽物なんだろうけど、よくできてるよな。かなり黒いよ。
By the blog, they were referring to Roast Company blog, the fourth phase run by the manager for fun and free advertising. He wrote spotlight articles about any artwork that caught his eye, amateur or pro. To that end, he invited artists to submit their works to him. On my phone, I navigated to the fourth phase, then tapped the latest post. A dark red image filled the screen. It looked like an incision in human skin that someone had punched and braced, vivid to say the least. The artist's handle was phrased, which I didn't recognize offhand. First time submission, apparently.
店長。
お待たせ。何？
As he set my drink down in front of me, I showed him my phone screen.
この画像。
ああ、それ面白いでしょ。
初投稿。
うん。トワ君も気になる？
まあ、そうだな。
やっぱり気になるよね。僕もそう思ってね。他の作品も見たかったんだけど、連絡がつかなくて。投稿してきた時のメールアドレスがステアドだったみたいなんだよね。だから、また投稿してくれるのを待つしかなくて。残念。
He let out a disappointing sigh. Just then, I remembered my objective in coming here. I reached into my coat pocket, pulled out the old photo, and handed it to him.
この絵、知ってるか？
He took the photo and scrutinized it carefully.
これ、トワ君が描いた絵じゃないの？
違う。
そうなんだ。なんだか雰囲気が似てるね。でも僕は知らないな、この絵。ごめんね。
He returned the photo to me. I looked back at it, scanning for the aesthetic similarities he mentioned. I couldn't really see it personally, but maybe it looked that way to other people. That said, if the manager didn't recognize it, then it wasn't a famous painting. I put the photo back in my coat pocket, picked up my glass, and took a sip. By the way, because I have to mute and unmute myself a lot, and this mic isn't the best quality, it may start glitching at some point. Like last time it happened, you guys only hear like weird noises. If that happens, don't wait too much to tell me, because last time it went for like 10 minutes until you guys pointed it out in chat. For once, if that happens, tell me. And in this, did I read that right? A new mic? No. Looked like an incision in human skin that someone had punched and braced. What else? Yes, apparently. I put the photo back in my coat pocket, picked up my glass and took a sip. Then I put a cigarette between my lips and lit it up. As I exhaled the smoke, I looked back at the blog and gazed at the image. I didn't drink that much, and yet for some reason, I still felt ill. Oh, my poor health was probably a contribution factor. So there I was standing down a dark alley in my way home from Rust. Suddenly my vision went dim, and the next thing I knew I was lying on the ground. But I didn't notice the pain so much as the intense drowsiness that swept over me all at once. I'm so sleepy. Then the headache and nausea kicked in, so I lay there on my back on the dirty asphalt and closed my eye. Something nearby reeked of mold and rotten garbage, but the drowsiness quickly suppressed it. Unable to fight its pull, my consciousness quickly drifted off. Snack Carrots is a genius. Are you having some of them? Oh, Dream. A scarlet splash added drops of colors to the wall. I could feel a burning heat and a piercing pain. Blood pooled on the carpet, glimmering eerily beneath the lights. Little red drops beneath on the surface of a long red incision. They swelled up almost as if they had a mind of their own. Then a long, thin, pale blade slid through the air, and the instant it touched my skin. I think I know what's coming, so let me prepare the sensor screen. I wrenched my eye open and forced myself awake. Blinking rapidly, I waited for reality to kick in. What a shitty dream. Granted, yeah, cutting my skin was almost a hobby for me, but in that dream I was terrified of the blade. It felt less like a dream and more like a memory of past events. This was now my second nightmare in a row. With a sigh, I look around. Where am I? I was lying on a bed in a room I didn't recognize. I started to sit up, but a sharp pain shot through my right arm. I looked over to find a clean white bandage beneath my rolled-up sleeve. Who did this to me? Because it sure wasn't me. Last night, I was on my way home from Rust when I passed out on the ground. I couldn't remember anything in between then and now. Did I get hurt while I was unconscious? And then someone came along and brought me here for first aid? It struck me as painfully absurd. I could remember dreaming about someone slicing my body. Is this the same old scene? Yes, but no, because he didn't have this nightmare. Or maybe it wasn't a dream after all. I grabbed the bandage and forcibly ripped it off. I could see a fresh cut just below my elbow. I couldn't remember getting hurt while I was unconscious, so it must have happened while I was out. Wait, hold on. Let me check one thing. I have a reference sheet I showed you guys with all his scars. Is this one he has now? Oh, I think yes. He gets this cut in-game, and it's on the reference sheet. Ah, interesting. So no matter what, he will get this scar. Could that explain the dream I had? But the pain and fear I felt during the dream was far greater than this tiny little scratch. Feeling strangely disappointed, I pressed a finger to the cut and dug my nail in. A sharp pain shot through me, and it made me smile. Now that was the level of intensity I was looking for. Something more like that. As my heart began to race, I looked around the room. My eye landed on a big pair of scissors lying on the side table. I reached out and grabbed them. Then I gripped them like a knife, pressed them hard against the inside of my right arm, and dragged. Okay, here you have your face. And now allow me to censor. I left out a ugly scratch on the surface of my skin. Wait. This may be better. This one may be better. Okay, let me censor. Thanks for the meal. No problem, that I may also have to mute. I brought my hand to my mouth and licked the blood. The pain and the taste of metal gave me a thrill, so I grabbed the scissors and did it again. I stabbed and slashed myself over and over. Before I knew it, it became my sole focus. Each of the wounds drew blood that spilled over, staining the white sheets a brilliant scarlet. Breathing heavily, I stabbed the scissors deeper into the wounds. Over and over and over. Wait. There is one better. Hold on. There is one better. Okay, I think this is the last. I can keep going. For Togo, where he gets therapy, kind of. Okay, that's it. Laughing, I press on. It hurts so good. It hurts so damn good. Yeah, good thing I censored just there. Did he snap? Pee is out. And he keeps cutting himself while doing that. The skin was stained bright crimson, but there was no single grisly wound. Instead, it was dotted with little red holes. Can you change the picture, please? My throat painfully. I touched the blood-stained scissors, then I slowly rose from the bed. Then I found my coat sitting folded on an armchair nearby. Okay. I readjusted my clothes, then strapped on my coat and headed for the exit. So, Iguina's bedsheet. They are a mess. He needs to clean. My head had worse than my arm. As I stepped out of the unfamiliar apartment, the sun streaming into the hallway, blinding me. So the protagonist, yeah, he needs help. I pulled out my cell phone to check the time, 10 a.m. Then I looked back at the apartment door. 1403. Numbers in English are hard. There was no nameplate, so I didn't know who lived here. I walked down to the hallway. I walked down the hallway to the elevator, rode it down to the first floor, and exit the building to get my bearings. But I couldn't tell what neighborhood I was in. Why on earth did someone bring me here? I started to open the GPS app on my phone, but then I saw all the missed calls and messages from Taku in my notifs. For now, I decided to make my way back to the clinic. I walked alone in the shadows, avoiding the happy sunshine. Before I arrived, I got in touch with Taku, then let myself in through the side entrance. Once he finished his current appointment, he called me in for emergency first aid.
おいおい、ひどいなこりゃ。
He took one look at my arm and scolded.
自分でやったのか。
You could have thrown this in so much to see anything. Wait, you changed it twice? I mean, I can tell it's a face, but that's it.
まあ
しょうがないな。た
Junko was standing nearby, handing Taku his tools with a concerned look on their face. Yeah, that looks kind of
感知するま
bad.
で結構かかるぞ。なんでこんなことしたんだ。
They look kind of bad.
なんとなく
I thought about trying to explain, but it was too much effort, so I just made something up. Taku shook his head in defeat.
聞いた俺がバカだったよ。
Question of logistic. Are you sure you want to ask me something about that? What is it? After he administered first aid, he wrapped a bandage around my arm.
よし、痛み止めと可能止めを出すから飲めよ。それと明日も見るからな。
How the pain was enough. The pain from getting the cats was enough.
頭痛薬と吐き気止めも欲しい。
Too late.
何？
He gave me a dubious look.
具合が悪いのか？
まあ
睡眠薬が合わないとか言ってたな。そのせいか。
それもあるかもしれない。
薬を変えてみるか。それでも収まらなければまた言ってくれ。
わかった。
一昨日も総称の患者が来たんだが、好き好んで怪我をするのはお前くらいのもんだ。
He stood up and let us aside.
その患者はナイフで切られたのか。
通り魔にあったらしいんだが、酔って記憶がなかったみたいでな。お前も一言じゃない話だぞ。気をつけろよ。
I mean, the same did happen.
ああ
I reached out to grab my coat, but just then my phone started to buzz loudly. I reached into my coat pocket and pulled it out.
榊だ。
This one, shut up! Taku frowned. But before I could answer the call, it stopped buzzing. Apparently, he stopped calling. Shut up! With a sigh, I put my phone back in my coat pocket. It was actually important. He will contact me again some other time.
組長のことかもな。
Hold on, I have to mute. Taku murmured quietly.
葬式は出るのか？
いや
そうか。
He didn't sound surprised by this. Instead, he nodded like it was what he expected me to say.
あさっては炊き出しのボランティアイベントがあるんだが、覚えてるか？
そういやそんなこと言ってたな。
As I spoke, I rose to my feet. He had mentioned it in past it in passing a while back, but I hadn't really paid attention.
お前も来いよと言いたいところだが、その腕じゃ厳しいか。
考えとく。
無理しなくていいぞ。
I nodded and left the exam
す
room.
みません。
As I was on my way back to the third floor, someone called out to me from the waiting room. I hope you didn't notice too much about what was going on your bed sheets. I walked to find a man standing at the reception desk holding a basket of flowers. No one was sitting there. Maybe the receptionist on duty had to run to the bathroom. The man with the flowers was wearing an apron. If I had to guess, he was probably a flower shop employee. The instant he laid eyes on me, his jaw dropped. Then his cheeks flashed like he was embarrassed for some reason. But I didn't recognize him at all.
花の配達で来たんですが。
すみません。こちらへお願いします。
Just then, Arimura came racing down the hall. The delivery guy kept glancing at me furtively, but I figured I would let Arimura handle it. She walked off. You can tell me it's not pretty accurate. Just because it's right doesn't mean you have to say it. Once the sun set and the sky went dark, I decided to go to roost. No amount of sitting around in my room was making me feel any better. The headache and nausea had faded, possibly thanks to Takumates. The pain in my arm wasn't too bad either. Problem was, spending any amount of time in my room seemed to fill my skull with fog. Normally, I would cheer myself up with some booze, but the fridge was empty, so I put a cigarette between my lips, pulled on my coat, and left. As I was heading down the stairs, I could feel my phone buzzing in my pocket, but I ignored it. I didn't feel like talking to anyone. Then I left the clinic and headed straight to roost. As I walked along, smoking my cigarette, I heard footsteps approaching from behind me.
すみません。
I stopped short. The owner of the voice quickly walked around in front of me. With his face now illuminated by the street lamps, I could see that I vaguely recognized him. Yeah, he was the flower delivery guy from earlier. He stared at the ground for a moment, then summoned his courage and looked up. The instant our eyes met, his face flashed.
昼間に村瀬クリニックへ花を届けに行ったんですけど、俺のこと覚えてますか？
I pinched my cigarette between my fingers. He looked back at me in alarm. He looks so creepy. I mean, he is kind of creepy. I waited for him to start talking, but no words came.
何か用か？
I put my cigarette between my lips and started to walk away.
待って。
I looked back to find him gazing at me desperately. He passed his lips together, then finally resigned himself to speak.
俺、あなたに謝りたいことがあって。あなたを部屋に連れ込んだのは俺なんです。すみません。
Apartment? So this was the guy behind
あ
it.
なたが道端で寝ているところへ偶然通りかかって、こんなに寒いのに放っておいたら危ないんじゃないかと思って、それで連れて帰ったんです。よく見たら怪我をしていたので手当てもしました。勝手なことをしてすみません。でも
He fixed me with a provoking look.
その
Approving look.
部屋に戻ったらあなたがいなくて、ベッドに血がたくさん。すごく驚いて、何があったのか気になって。
I find it very interesting that he only mentions the blood, not the other stuff.
そしたら村瀬クリニックさんであなたを見て、あなたを探そうと思って聞いて回ったんです。
特徴を話して。
Won't you mention it? We are talking about the queen, you know?
そしたら何か教えてくれる人がいて、トワさん有名なんですね。そのいろいろと。
誰とでも寝るって。
He fell silent, so I pressed on.
ずっと俺を見張ってたのか。
He looked up at me in surprise. I mean, he didn't honestly expect me to believe that shit about passing by, did he? His gaze darted around hesitantly for a moment. Then he thought quietly.
もしかしたらあなたは俺の同類なんじゃないかと思って話したかったんです。
同類？
あのベッドの血は自分で傷つけたものですよね。俺、傷にとても興味があるんです。
He pulled out his cell phone and showed me his screen. It was that same image again. The ones from Rose's blog. Made by the artist called Phrase. For a moment I thought maybe it was just a lookalike, but no, they were identical.
フレーズか。
Telling me in the future. At this, his eyes widened in surprise.
どうして？
ルーストのブログで見た。印象的だったから覚えてる。
He stared back at me in amazement.
そんな風に言ってもらえるなんて嬉しいです。よくルーストには行かれてるんですか？
まあ。
俺、実はまだ行ったことがないんですけど、ブログを見たり、周りの人の話を聞いたりして、すごく行ってみたいって思ったんです。ブログに載ってたユーフォリアって人の作品がすごく好きで、店内に飾ってあるみたいだから見に行きたくて。
そりゃどうも。
He blinked back at me, stunned.
もしかして
ユーフォリアは俺だけど。
そうだったんですか？本当に？
ああ。
うわぁ、こういう奇跡みたいな偶然って本当にあるんですね。
Smiling, he closed his eyes.
ユーフォリアさんの描いた絵を見てると不思議な気持ちになるんです。絶望を感じるのに振り切った情熱のようなものが見え隠れしていて、なんだかすごく羨ましくなる。いいなって思うんです。何かテーマを決めてたりはするんですか？
願望だ。心の奥底に秘めた誰にも言えない願望が叶った瞬間を描いてる。
願望？それって想像で描いてるんですか？それともモデルがいたりとか？
Also, you will see. Just wait. You will see. Because this is happening in a very different way. So.
モデルはいるけど、毎回違う。
そうなんですね。
He nodded, then looked out at his feet. He looked up at me imploringly.
いきなりでおこがましいってことは100も承知なんですが、俺を書いてもらえませんか？俺の願望を。俺の願望は。
He sucked in a sucky breath.
人の中身が見たくてたまらないんです。
As it turned out, the image Phrase had submitted to Rust's blog was a flower made to look like a wound. Apparently, he made this art whether he needed to vent his desire to see people's in art. Since I was drawn to the image he submitted, I wanted a distraction anyway. I decided to attend a euphoric episode with him. He brought me back to the same apartment I had waken up in. Naturally, I was expecting the same as It was exactly the same as I remember it. There were potted plants everywhere and lots of humidity in the air. The only chance was that he had replaced the bloody bed sheets with fresh, clean ones.
一つ聞いてもいいですか？
He looked at me nervously beneath the dim lights.
血まみれのベッドの上に植木用のハサミが落ちてたんですけど、ハサミを使って自分を傷つけたんですか？
ああ、
どうして？
なんとなく。
Not like he needed to know, it was an impulse I felt after dreaming of a traumatic incident from my childhood. You know, that's not a very nice coping mechanism, my boy. That's usually not how you deal with trauma.
あなたが寝ている間に、実はあなたの腕を少しだけ切ったんです。目を覚まさないように水に溶かした睡眠薬を飲ませて、その後傷の手当てをしました。でも部屋に戻ってみたらベッドが血だらけで、あなたがいなくなっていて、正直焦りました。そんな大怪我はさせてないし、何が起こったのかわからなくて、ハサミで切った傷、見せてもらってもいいですか？
He was trying his best to keep his voice level, but I could hear a tiny hint of excitement. His face, yeah. I pulled off my coat and rolled up my shirt sleeve. Then I removed the bandage Taco had applied and offered my wrestling arms to him. Instantly his eyes widened, and he gazed at my guns rapturously. It was now impossible to tell where he had made his original incision.
これを自分で？
I nodded, and he let out a sensual breath. I...
やっぱり思った通りだ。あなたの腕を切らせてもらった時、体も見てそしたらたくさんの傷跡があって、すごく、ものすごくそそられました。特に胸の真ん中にある大きな傷、まるで体を開いた跡みたいでたまらなかった。
He spoke reverently, like he was reciting an ardent love poem.
触りたいか？
Here we go again. He gasped, his adam's apple quivering. I pulled off my coat and shirt and ran a finger over the skirt that... Hold on. And ran a finger over the skirt that grabbed my chest in two. Then I dug my leg into the recent skin and slowly scratched. He watched me hungrily, unblinking. He wasn't even touching me, and yet I could feel his fervent heat in the air. I checked. I don't think I have to censor now. I think, but I'm not fully sure.
触れよ。それで。
I jerked my chin in the direction of the bedside table, where a knife lay idly. Usually these scenes don't show pee-pee, but I'm not sure. Blushing, he let out a quivering breath.
ほら。
I took a step towards him, challenging him. Slowly, he took the knife from the table. But before he used it, he reached out and touched my scar with his bare hand. His rough, dry fingers felt scratchy against the protruding skin. Sorry, I have to mute for a bit. The sensation was enough to provoke a tiny thrill in me. He rubbed my scar again and again, like he couldn't get enough. Then, at last, he raised the knife. The tip glinted faintly in the dim light as he pointed it at my chest. Then I felt a tiny prick of pain as he pierced my skin. In that instant, I was overcome with the strangest feeling. I recognized this. I had experienced this same thing. It was a truly bizarre case of deja vu. Something was breaking loose in the back of my mind and started to rise to the surface, unbidden.
前にもあったか。
He looked at me quizzically as he pressed the knife lightly against my chest.
切ってくれ。早く。
I called him on, desperate to not let this fleeting feeling slip away. Perplexed, he pressed the knife deeper into my scar. Pain shot through me, and red fluid spilled out from between the knife and my skin. He let out a feverish breath like he couldn't possibly hold it in. As I gazed at the expression while my cat throbbed painfully, the same needing feeling returned. I knew this guy from somewhere. That's right. Miraculously, I had seen him before. Of the 3 headshots that were mailed to me in that cardboard box, one of them looked a lot like this guy.
名前は
If his name matched the one scribbled on the back of the photo,
クイナです。
Quina. Sure enough, that was the same name. Instantly, the horny gaze cleared from my mind. Same name, same face. What was going on here? Sorry, it wasn't Quina who sent me that cardboard box. Was he connected to me somehow? To my past? If I asked him, if I performed a euphoric episode with him, maybe I could get those memories back. All of them. After Quina's euphoric episode, the two of us lay on the bed stained anew with my blood. We were still alive, but only just. At some point, we got carried away and stopped thinking about the consequences. Or at least he did. And I drove him to that point on purpose. I had manipulated him to prioritize my own pleasure. And at the end, he did exactly what I wanted him to do. It was the first time in my life that I had lost control of myself so completely. I couldn't stop. However, notably no amount of interrogating Equina helped me remember anything. As I thrown out on the bed, I heard loud footsteps running down the hall outside. Earlier, I had used the last of my strength to grab my phone and call Taku. Then the front door flew open, and the footsteps came barreling onto the apartment towards us. Slowly, I turned my heavy eyes towards the door. There, Taku stood staring at me in shock.
毎回こうだと分かっちゃいるが、本当にどうしようもないな。
Muttering to himself, he walked over to the bed. I smiled faintly and closed my eyes as the strength drained from my body. Yeah, I read that right, I think. Up. Here we go again. It was that same dream again. The dream where someone cuts me. Probably a memory from my childhood. Assuming it wasn't my own personal fantasy. The cut ran deep, with a razor sharp knife that glinted in the light. Right in the center of my chest. Like someone was trying to cut my heart out. Slowly but firmly. The tip sank into my skin, and the hand that held the knife was that of a child's. My viewpoint switched, and then I felt a sharp prick of pain in my back. I was lying on my stomach, so I couldn't see what was happening. All I knew was that my back hurt. The intense pain made my throat expand, and then I screamed. it's kind of poetic in a way that even after so many years later, the same people that cause those scars to appear are the ones to reopen them again. You know, the moment I awoke, a headache set in, an agreement. Lately, I almost used to feel like shit the morning after a nightmare. Maybe the new meds weren't a good fit for me either. Jesus Christ! What? Hold on, what? I think this is the messiest we have seen his room. Oh my god. Demons, huh? Yeah. I sat up on the sofa, grabbed the bottle of wood off the floor, and took a swim. 2 weeks had passed since the Queen euphoric episode. I received a medical treatment at the clinic, and once I had recovered enough to walk, I started the painting process. I was told Equina was taken to a different hospital. But while I would always stay up in my room while painting was in progress, things were a little different this time. Normally I would paint like a man possessed, but this time I couldn't focus. I kept painting and repainting over and over. Most of my time was spent frozen like a statue in front of the canvas, just thinking. I was so unfocused, in fact, I even fiddled with my cell phone, something I almost never did during a painting session. I read through a bunch of notes from Ray and Sakaki, then tossed my phone onto the sofa. Naturally, I had no intention of calling them back. I was only growing more frustrated with myself for wasting time. At one point, Ray came by my place with a puzzle for me. Normally, I would ignore anyone who tried to interrupt me while I was painting, but this time was different. When I opened it, I found a small white box with a single business card inside. On it, someone had wrote Takanouchi Medical Office. Apparently, this person was a doctor. Takanouchi Medical Office. It was a comparatively large-scale hospital facility right here in Shinkomi. Why could someone send me this person's business card? Asakura. Sorry, I didn't know this, but like... Someone sent all of this, and then he is facing Equina, who I think mentioned at some point that someone told him to come to Shinkomi, but he doesn't remember who. He was told to come here, and now someone sends him the card from Asakura, and then I fetched the other box and pulled out those 3 headshots. Equina, Kirihara, Asakura. Asakura Kazuki. Sure enough, it was a match. I pulled off my paint-stained coveralls, struck on my coat, and left the building. It was the first time in my life that I got up and left in the middle of a painting. So, things are happening. I guess that's why I did that. Using my GPS to guide me, I hurried down the sunny street in the direction of Takanouchi. Takanouchi? I can't read. 2 black cars were idling on the side of the road by the park. Right as I passed, one of the car's windows rolled down. Sakaki peered out from the rear passenger seat. I stopped short.
何度も電話してるのに出ねえから心配したんだぞ。入院してたらしいじゃねえか。また趣味に夢中になりすぎたのか?
I hadn't said a word to him, and yet somehow he already knew my business. Being the Takasato Gumi new leader had its perks, apparently. But I was in an irritable mood since I was already appending my entire painting process by leaving my room before I was finished. Sakaki seemed to send this, because he gazed at me patiently for a moment, then smiled weakly.
そう怖い顔で睨むなって。今日は用事ついでに顔を見ようと思っただけだ。話したいことがたくさんあるんだよ。親父のことも。だが、また今度にしよう。
As he spoke, I went into the car. One of his cronies was sitting on the driver's seat, but there was another man in the back with him who gave off a very different vibe. He was wearing glasses and a blank expression, like he was a mannequin, probably the still-laced, highly guarded type. The other car had more cronies inside.
どこかへ行くところだったのか。
At this, I looked back at Sakaki.
邪魔して悪かった。また連絡する。
With that, he rolled the window back up. As the two cars sped away in a cloud of exhaust fumes, I started walking. Up ahead, I could see a 6-story building with a fancy sign out that could read Takanoguchi. Have I been reading this the whole time wrong? Takanoguchi. I hate when that happened. Takanoguchi medical office, not Takanoguchi. Well, better later than never, huh? At least I realize it. Inside, the waiting room was filled with patients sitting on benches. Granted, I knew I probably wouldn't be able to meet with Asakura without good reason, so I said I was a new patient and requested him as my physician. Fortunately, he was working today, and the wait wouldn't be too terribly long. So I sat down on a bench to wait until he was available. Narrowly, surprising a nicotine craving, I let my eye unfocus and I stared into space. Dude, it's so bad today. Why I can't read? The smoke rising from the patients blurred together like a watercolor painting. Just then a question rose to my mind. What exactly am I doing here? It was pure impulse what brought me here. What would I even say to this Asakura guy? There was no guarantee it could go as well as it did with Ikuina.
村瀬とわさん、一番の診察室へどうぞ。
I forget he used Tako's surname for this stuff. Shut up. Shut up. Before I could finish mulling it over, they called my name. I always borrowed Tako's surnames whether I need one. I rose from the bench and walked to the room they specified. The stickers are kind of cute. I really like the seal with the balloon. That one is pretty cute. When I entered, the doctor stopped typing on his computer and glanced in my direction. So it was Asakura. He waited for me to be seated, then turned in my direction.
こんにちは。今日はどうされましたか?
While he spoke politely, there was something hostile about his tone. Maybe he was judging me based on my looks. I gently scrutinized his face. He frowned back at me dubiously. Sure enough, it was the same guy from the headshot, though he looked younger in the photo.
風邪をひいたみたいで少し熱っぽいんですけど。
It was a lie, of course. He must have seen right through it, because his skepticism only deepened.
そうですか。それじゃ口を大きく開けて。
俺のことは知ってるか?
I came in with a question, and he escalated at me.
失礼ですが、初対面かと。少なくとも私はあなたとは会ったことがない。
それじゃこれは。
I pulled a folded piece of paper out of my pocket, opened it up, and thrust it to him. It was the torn paper from the cardboard box. At first he glared at me, but then he looked at the paper. But when he looked at the paper, he gasped. His complexion went pale. Then his smoke changed color and began to wrap unnaturally.
これはどうして
Huh. I forgot his reaction in here.
何か知ってるのか
His lips trembled as he looked at me, his eyes as wide as saucers. He seemed to be struggling to find his words, but I wasn't about to wait. Next, I pulled out his headset.
何か知ってることがあるなら話せ
君はどうしてそんなものまで
The moment he saw the photo, all the blood drained from his face, and panic rose up in his eyes.
診察が必要ないのであれば帰ってくれないかここは病院だ
He stammered quietly, without meeting my gaze.
俺には必要だ
帰ってくれ
人には言えない秘密がある、あんたのことだよ
何を
そういうやつがこの病院にいるって言いふらすことができる
That was Papa's sneaky sneeze.
やめろ
なら話せ
He glared at me in a frustrated rage.
先生
Frustrated rage.
どうされました？
Just then, the curtain slid open and a nurse peeked in. Asakura's face stiffened as shook his head.
何でもない気にしないでくれ
That is the thing. It's kind of creepy. Very creepy indeed. Puzzled, the nurse disappeared behind the curtain once more. Asakura let out a sigh and hung his head. He pressed his hands to his knees and slowly clenched them into fists. For a while, he stared at the floor in contemplation. Then he looked up at me.
その紙に書いてあるのはかつて私が犯した大きな過ちについてだ
大きな過ち
The TV. I honestly don't know. There are a few references to other games here and there. I think, is it Go Street? No. Like, one of the panels in one of the streets, it's basically Joji from Street Pool. There is also the figure from of Saya on Majo's room. But I don't think that's a reference.
なぜ君がそれを
いいから話せ
I gazed freely into his eyes, like I was trying to see into his soul. He made my guess, then eventually conceded.
大学生だった頃の話だ私はゼミの教授に声をかけられた私を最も有望な生徒と見込んで連れて行きたいところがあると教授を心底尊敬していた私は舞い上がっためったに生徒を評価しないと言われていた人だったんだ
The fact that a top teacher at a university is into this kind of shit.
バーで教授と酒を酌み交わした後洋館へ連れて行かれた豪華で美しい館ではあったが召喚か何かなのだろうということは一目で分かった酔いが回っていた私は教授のような人でもこういう店に来るのだと深くは考えなかったその後教授と共にある部屋へ通されたそこには目隠しをされた子供がうつ伏せで横たわっていた子供を取り囲むように
何人かの大人が座っていて、私もうつ伏せになっている子供の隣に座らされた。そして手にメスを握らされて。
He remained in pain, closed his eyes and bit his lip. His feet were shaking in his lap.
切れと言われたんだ。目の前にいる子。私は酔っていた。だから自分が夢を見ているのか現実なのかの区別もつかなかった。それで切ったんだ。
どこ？
背中を切った。その時急に天使の宗教画を思い出して、羽がとても美しかったと思って。
どんな風に切った？
肩甲骨に沿って。
Choking but a sob, he pressed his lips together.
その子の体には他にもたくさんの傷があった。だからきっと私だけではなく、そういうことが常に行われていたのではないかと思う。
その子供はどうなった？
死んではいないはずだ。専属の医者がいると言っていた。真実はわからないが、その君が持っている紙に書かれた他の二人もおそらく私と同罪のものなんだろう。傷の部位は目隠しをした子供が負った傷を示している。少なくとも私がつけた傷については合っている。
He slammed his shoulders and stared at the floor like he was completely drained.
ずっとあれは夢の出来事だったのではないか。夢であってほしいと願っていたんだが、現実だったのか。もしそうなら本当に後悔している。だが
He looked at me with weary eyes.
なぜ今になって、どうして今君はそれを私に突きつけたんだ。
そんなの俺の方が聞きたい。
Nodding quietly, I rose from my chair and left the exam room. That was intense! After I paid my bill, I headed for the exit and left the building. Waiting my resident heartbeat to calm down, I took a deep breath of cold air, but my skull still felt like it was on fire. The boy as Sakura described it, the blindfold, the cuts in his back. Fragmented images flashed through my mind. I had 2 scars in my back that ran along my shoulder blades. One of the guys I forget when or who it was once told me that it looked like someone had ripped out my angel wings. So if Asakura was telling the truth, then that blindfolded little boy was probably me. And apparently Ikuina had caught me at some point too. I reached into my pocket, pulled out the crumpled piece of paper and unfolded it. According to this record, Ikuina was the one who gave me the scar across my chest. Wait, so Ikuina gave me this huge long scar? Dark emotions flamed in my chest as I gazed down at the paper. All that remained was Kirihara. Was Kirihara just like the rest? I mulled over as I walked, and before I knew it, I had arrived at the clinic. And still, everything is a mess. Back at my place, I pulled off my coat and sat down at the easel without even changing into my coveralls. Robotically, I picked up my paintbrush, dipped it in paint, and went back to work. Meanwhile, my brain replayed a certain voice, but I intentionally ignored it, painting away like a single-minded machine. Originally, I was painting Equina, but now a clouding face was emerging on the canvas. It was Equina's face, soon joined by Asakura's face. The two separated entities seemed to struggle for dominance. Even since I had spoken with Asakura, I could hear someone screaming in my head. Don't remember. Don't dig any deeper. I couldn't tell whose voice it was, but whoever they were, they refused to shut the fuck up. Eventually, I couldn't stand it anymore. I dropped my paintbrush and rose to my feet. Where was that note form? He had that on the mail along with the 3 headshots, the 3 pictures, the paint picture, and the stuffed bunny toy. We don't know where it came from. Everything came in a box, but we don't know from where or who sent it. In my rage, I kicked over the easel, sending the still wet canvas topping to the floor. I ran a hand through my hair and paced it around the room. On a whim, I stopped short to sift through the items from the cardboard boxes. Then I went back to pacing. This pattern repeated several times. Every now and then, the voice in my head would weaken, and I would regain my composure long enough to work on my painting. It was obvious from my behavior that I was emotionally unstable. Something was clearly wrong with me, and it was starting to make me lose control completely. What a road, isn't it? And we haven't even met the dude yet. In my desperation, I visited Takanoguchi medical office several more times. This time, I will read it right. Each time, I tried to meet with Asakura to no avail. Not that I could blame him. I didn't exactly pull any punches the first time around. Looking back, I probably could have handled that a little better. My chest felt like it was full of storm clouds. One minute I was painting, and the next I found myself at the park. I had no motivation to do anything or speak to anyone. I could still hear someone in my head, ringing an alarms. Don't remember. Don't dig any deeper. Staring at the ground, I walked up to a big tree and leaning against it. As I stood there, I overheard some loud, cheerful voices in the distance.
あれ？あそこにいるのとは？
お、本当だ。
とわさん、こんにちは。
Kotaro Mayuanegi walked over to me excitedly. They were all carrying plastic grocery bags. Eventually, they were on their way back from a shopping trip.
なんだか久しぶりじゃねえか。2週間ぶりか？
そんなに会ってないっけ？とわさん、元気がないように見えますけど、どうしました？
別に。
I didn't want them digging into my business, so I looked away.
なんだご機嫌斜めか？もうちょっと優しくしてくれよ。こっちはヒーヒー言いながら重いもん持って歩いてんだからよ。
Kotaro rested the bag in his hat as he spoke.
大して重くないですよ。
うるせえな。
小太郎大げさ。
買い出しか？
ああ、これから戻るところだ。
その後は？
特に用事はないよ。
デスマッチエリア行か。
え？
I cut it, sorry. They all look at me in disbelief.
トワからデスマッチの話が出るなんて珍しいね。どうしたんですか？何かあったんですか？
As I fell silent, the three of them exchanged a glance.
嬉しいお誘いと言いたいところだが、今はエリアに近づかない方がいいぜ。相当荒れてっからな。
そうそう、やめとけやめとけ。
Normally, Kotaro would always try to drag me to the deathmatch area, whether I wanted to go or not. So if he didn't want to go anywhere near the place, then it had to be in pretty bad shape. Maybe the leader's death had something to do with it too.
飲みとかなら全然付き合いますよ。
じゃあそれでいい。
よっしゃ、行こうぜ。
とりあえずお使いを済ませてくるよ。またここに集合。
トワさん、少し待っててくださいね。
And with that, the trio headed out of the park. I wasn't especially in the mood to drink, but right now I didn't care. I just leaned against the tree and waited for them to return. "10 days later, I was still nowhere near done with Ikuna's painting. Normally, Taco stayed out of my room when I was painting, but he was excessively worried about me this time around.
とは入るぞ。
When he knocked, I didn't answer. Instead, I just lay there on the floor with my eyes closed. The floor was littered with paint, splattered paper and tools, with barely any space to walk on. In my mind, the greenlit bunny from the first box. Was the greenlit bunny from the first box. Frustrated with my lack of progress on the painting, I pulled out the bunny and tried to remember more about it, but doing so only exhausted my energy. My painting wasn't finished. More accurately, I couldn't seem to reach a level of completion I was satisfied with. The more I painted, the more the composition changed, and the more I struggled to paint it anyway, the faster I burned out. Until eventually I gave up in despair. The voice in my head was still there. Frustration and doubt gained away at my sanity. Taku must have lost patience with my lack of response, because the door quietly opened.
とは
He walked in, minding his steps as he crossed over the messy floor to me. I felt him crouch down, and then his rough fingers touched my neck. Relieved to find me alive. He really thought he'd die. He grabbed me by the shoulder and gave me a little shake.
と
I opened my eyes to find Taco frowning down at me, or more accurately at my hand, at the old ball-jointed bunny doll. Why was he looking at it? All at once, I snapped to my senses and sat up. Startled, he froze and looked at me. His hand hovered in the direction of the bunny. Hastily, I concealed the toy behind my back.
そいつをどこで手に入れたんだ
He asked quietly, in a tone of forced calm. Did he recognize this bunny? Or was he just curious about it for some reason?
見せてくれ
It's so funny. It is. Literally. It is. Then he reached out farther, and on reflex, I shoved him away. He fell to the floor and up into the cardboard box nearby. At first, he grimaced, but then he caught sight of the box. His expression changed instantly. He shot me a look, then rose to his feet.
なんでだ
I spoke in a flat voice, without averting my gaze.
なんで知ってる
お前少し変だぞ落ち着け
He spoke to me like he was reassuring a child, and yet his face looked tense. He could try to play it cool all he liked, but he couldn't fool me. I could see it in his smile, with what's now rubbed out of shade and flashing colors rapidly.
変なのはそっちだろ
何かだ
嘘をついてる
For a moment he fell silent, but then he let out a breathy chuckle.
何もそいつを取ろうってわけじゃない見せてほしいだけだ
It's literally like he's speaking to a small kid.
嘘だ
本当だよ
信じられない
見せてくれと頼むそれを
bunny in hand, and jumped to my feet and ran from the door.
え、ちょっとトア。
どけ。レイ、捕まえろ。
Oh, is it better now? How about now? Fix, I think. Okay. Nothing like plugging and unplugging something to make it work again.
何なの？
Perplexed, Ray grabbed my arm to stop me. I just tried to escape, but couldn't wriggle out of his grasp. Ultimately, the two of them dragged me back into my apartment.
タクがなかなか戻ってこないから様子を見に来たらびっくりしたわ。何があったっていうの？
Ray pressed a hand to his mouth as his eyes darted between me and Taku.
いや、ちょっとな。と、本当に取り上げたりはしないから、それを見せてくれないか。
Taku stood down, trying to make eye contact with me as I sat on the sofa and stared at my lap. I turned away, avoiding his gaze, and threw the toy at him. Absolute kid behavior. He scrutinized the bunny with a hard look on his face. He turned it over and over in his hand, then let out a sign and handed it back to me, just as he promised.
悪かったな。
そのぬいぐるみ何なの？
わからん。トアがぬいぐるみを持って帰ってきたのかと思って見せてもらっただけだ。
By the way, that toy actually exists. As I wasn't that sure about the Zippo lighter of Madarame, but that stuffed bunny, it actually exists.
お前にとっては大事なものなんだろう。な。
His smoke twisted in different angles, changing colors at the speed of light. It was always so obvious to me when anyone lied, which meant Taku knew something about this bunny. He had been my private physician ever since I was a kid, so it stood to reason that he would know about my past. I gritted my teeth.
絵はまだ仕上がってないのか？お前が絵を描いてる途中でつまずくなんて珍しいが、たまにはゆっくり休むことも大事だぞ。
そうよ、トア。無理しないでね。
But their words of consent fell on deaf ears. They looked at me anxiously, waiting for me to speak, but eventually gave up and left the room. Taku knows something. He's lying to me. Then the voice in my head got louder. Don't remember. Don't dig any deeper. What was lurking in my past? I rose from the sofa and sat down at the easel. With a fresh eye, I reevaluated my work in progress. It was downright hideous, but I decided to continue. It was less than I wanted to paint, and more that I wanted to use the painting as an outlet for the frustration welling up inside me. I started to fling the bunny, but stopped myself just in time. Instead, I dropped it lightly at my feet. The pocket watch hanging on the easel swayed, thumping quietly. The next day, I was sitting at the easel, staring at the floor and utterly failing to make any progress on the painting, when I hear a knock at the door.
急にすみません。
The door opened a crack, and in peeked Arimura. It was a rare sight since he hardly ever came up here. He glanced around and grimaced. Apparently he wasn't impressed with the state of my room.
一応伝えておいた方がいいかと思って。
何？
今朝、トワさん宛ての郵便物が届いてたんです。それで、そのことを村瀬先生に伝えたら、俺が渡すと言って持って行かれたんですけど、もう受け取りましたか？
いや。
At this, he averted his eyes anxiously.
そうですか。郵便物のことを伝えたとき、先生の様子がいつもと違うというか、少しおかしいように感じたので気になって、トワさんに確かめた方がいいかと思ったんです。
わかった。
I rose to my feet and quietly headed to the door.
助かった。
At this, his expression went blank, and he averted his eyes. He and I had never gotten along swimmingly, but for once he had done me a huge favor. I went downstairs to the first floor, down the hall, and into the exam room. I didn't see Taku, but I could smell something burning, so I looked over at the sink on the other side of the room. There, I could see someone in a white lab coat with his back turned.
おい。
It was Taku. I called out to him as I approached as he wheeled around. In the scene was a stack of papers currently on fire. Nearby was an open envelope. Instantly, I know it was the mail Animure had mentioned.
お前。
I grabbed him by the shoulder, jumped him towards me, and punched him in the face. He staggered back a few steps and slammed into the counter. I shoved him out of the way and peered into the sink. More than half of the papers had already caught fire. I hastily turned the faucet and extinguished the fire. Then I went around and punched Taku again. He hung his head, clutching at his bleeding lip with one hand.
有村に聞いた。俺宛ての郵便物だろ。どういうことだ？
ガラクタだ。お前には必要ない。
それを決めるのはお前じゃない。
I snatched up the now waterlogged papers and showed him a venomous, seething look.
知らない方がいいこともある。
He muttered the words with a pained grimace on his face. I kicked the chair over as hard as I could, then grabbed the empty envelope of the table and ran out of the exam room. Out in the hall, I encountered a very perplexed Arimura. He must have heard the commotion and came in to investigate. I walked past him silently, cut through the waiting room, and left the building. Human bread. I stoned straight to the park, walked up to an empty bench, and sat down. As I caught my breath, I examined the envelope and what was remained of its contents. Kirihara punctured beneath right clavicle, subclavian artery and damage. Depth of 40 millimeters. Bleeding, but still conscious, unable to focus. Started with 6 hours and a period of 18 days. Will potential complications. Likewise, I can found so I decided to give him a chance and put a knife. True to his instincts, he plunged that knife into my... He seemed so guilty, enjoying the moment while it lasted. Sure enough, the envelope had my name on it. 1/3 of the page had long since vanished to us, but the rest was barely legible. Like the torn page sent to me earlier, they sent to list my scars in detail. Then I encountered the name Kirihara. The headshot photo rose up in my mind. Was this potentially a major clue about Kirihara? The thought made me furious with Taku for trying to bar my stuff behind my back. According to Asakura, it was possible Ikuina and Kirihara had inflicted wounds on me as well. I couldn't bear to sit still, so I rose from the bench. I thought maybe I could find out more if I tried asking Ikuina. Problem being, I didn't actually know where he was. All I knew was that he had been sent to a different hospital after his euphoric episode. So I pulled out my cell phone and deleted Eige's number. I was hoping he could find out for me.
生稲隆という男が今どこにいるのか。
ちょっと待ってくださいね。生稲隆さんですね。
ああ。
他にも何か情報があればぜひ。
住んでるマンションはメゾンソレイユ3号棟の1403、花屋の店員だ。ルーストのブログにフレーズって名前で作品を投稿してる。
なるほど、調べてみますね。何か分かったら連絡します。
それと今から男の画像を送る。そいつの情報も欲しい。名前は桐原だ。
さっきより難易度アップしましたね。名前と画像だけだと絞り込むのはかなり難しいと思います。でも僕はノーとは言いません。とりあえずやってみます。それにしても急にどうしたんですか？何か事件でもあったとか？
He seemed to read my silence because he hastily continued.
まあいいです。今度ルーストで一杯おごってくださいね。
ああ。
それじゃまた連絡します。
With the phone call over, I let out a breath. The warning bells in my head were getting louder and louder. Don't remember. Don't dig any deeper. Then I rose from the bench and left the park. After the fight with Taku, I didn't feel like going back to the clinic, but I felt the urge to finish my painting. So to avoid running into Taku or any other staff, I slipped in through the side entrance, then headed up to the third floor. Back at my place, I arranged to make sure the cardboard box was still there. I checked. Sure enough, it was right where I left it. I grabbed it, walked over to the easel, sat down, and set it at my feet. From there, I went back to painting. I moved my brush mindlessly, like the paint was coagulated slag puke up from the depths of my bin. That's quite a sentence. But no matter how much paint I use, I never seemed to get any closer to finishing. With no way to sublimate my impulse, I felt I could only vent my anger. It felt like I was trapped in a maze with no way out. A shadow fell over me, and I looked up at it. Something sparkled softly in the light, the blade of a knife. I could feel hard concrete against my back and a weight on my hips. A pair of bloodshot eyes grinned truly at me, and suppressed breath and laughter. A gust of wind waved past, and an impact struck my collarbone. There was a searing heat and a stabbing pain. The knife slashed at me in a straight line, then a second time, then a third. Meanwhile, I watched the blood splatter. A week later. At last the painting was complete. Or rather, I had decided I was done with it. I didn't consider it finished, but I was all out of ideas. I just didn't know what direction to take it in. The whole time I was painting, I kept questioning my past. There were 3 people connected to me, Ikuina, Asakura, and Kirihara, but I had next to no information about Kirihara. I tried asking people at Roost and around town, but came empty-handed. All I could do was wait for Eiji. How cool I felt to finish a painting. Nothing like this had ever happened before, and it was aggravating. The world was supposed to be concentrated on Ikuina's desire, but now it was an incongruous mix of things. An inner Frankenstein face leaning out at me. But even after I set down my brush, I felt that inexplicable urge desperate to get it out of my system. I kept printing things at the walls. An amount of raging around made me feel better, and now my vision was warped in all different colors, possibly as a side effect of forcing myself to paint. Because of that, everything looked freakish. I knew it was all in my head, but I couldn't stop. I couldn't sit still. I wanted it gone, but couldn't shake it. Don't remember. Don't dig any deeper. The obnoxious voice kept ringing in my ears. It was unlike anything I have ever felt before. The commotion must have been audible from the first floor, because Taku came upstairs. But I didn't meet his gaze. I stood frozen, but then it had a mind thrown. My room was now even messier than before. I hadn't spoken to him ever since he tried to burn my mail. Why would he do that? He claimed it was junk, but refused to explain any further. I suspected he might try to bind the cardboard box next, but apparently he wasn't willing to go that far. He scrutinized my expression, trying to gauge my emotions, then put a hand on my shoulder. I didn't push him away, but I felt hostility rise up inside me, and I stiffened slightly. I didn't want to talk to anyone, and I didn't want to be touched. I want him to fuck off. I raised my head and looked up into his eyes. A swirl of purple, red, and black smoke surrounded him. He spoke gently as is soothing a child, but the moment that word reached my ears, something snapped inside me. My hair started to raise. I began to breathe heavily. My vision went red. No, I'm scared. I shoved him away as hard as I could, then ran off. I bolted from the room, down the stairs, and out of the building. Rain fell from the dark clouds above, soaking my skin. What world? If you didn't notice yourself, I will wait. Gasping for breath, I dashed into the park and crawled into a large concrete playground tunnel. It was big enough for an adult to fit inside if I crawled into a ball. My hands shook as I clenched my knees tightly. I couldn't tell if the rain had extinguished my body heat or if I was actually scared about something. My vision was a suite of garnish and natural colors that seemed to come alive. I buried my face in my knees and held my breath. Why was I so dizzy, and why were my ears ringing? What was happening to me? As I lay curled up in the tunnel, the rain only poured down harder. The raindrops echoed, cutting me off from the outside world. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Taku's voice reverberated in my ears over and over, slowly morphing into a voice I didn't recognize. It's okay. See, isn't it fun? Whoever it was, their voice sent goosebumps pricking in my arms, and I could feel terror filling my chest. It felt like there was a stranger inside me. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. The suffocation pressure made me whimper through gritted teeth. Memories and voices I didn't recognize. What was lurking in my past? I just didn't know. Then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw something move and look over. The entrance of the tunnel was now half blocked. Someone was standing there. Hi there! Finally! I could see a man in a suit stoop over, peering inside at me. Our eyes met. I didn't recognize him. It's okay. The voice echoed in my mind once more. It's okay. No, it's not. It's not okay at all. Out of nowhere, goosebumps shot at my spine to nape of shot up my spine to the nape of my neck. In an instant, all I felt was malice. No. Spurred to action, I langed at the man purely on impulse. He tried to dodge, but I launched onto him and knocked him to the ground. His umbrella rolled off. Screaming, I tried to swing my fist at him, but he grabbed my arm. What ensued was a power struggle. I tried to punch him while he tried to stop me. Then he nicked me in the gut. Unable to dodge, I took a hit to the solar plexus. As I reeled, he punched me in the face. I tried to punch back, but I could feel the strength draining from my limbs. I hadn't eaten or drank anything during the painting process, so I was malnourished and my body was screaming in protest. What guys? I know, right? Just then, an intense wave of drowsiness set in, and my mind began to fade. Slowly, I climbed to the muddy ground. As everything went fuzzy, I could hear the splashing sound of someone running. A moment later, I could hear noises, but they were too muffled to burst, almost like I was underwater. Cold water was weathering against my cheek, and the smell of wet sand filled my nostrils. I was so sleepy I couldn't move. So I closed my eye and passed out. The room was dim with a scarlet light. Someone was wailing, but I didn't recognize the voice. It felt like I should know them, but I couldn't remember. The voice was muffled, like a thin veil was trapped over my ears. I couldn't parse what they were saying, but I could hear the anguish screaming. Someone was begging for help, but who? Gasping for breath, I snapped awake and jumped upright. What an awful nightmare. I could only remember bits and pieces, but none of it was pleasant. My whole body was broken out in a cold sweat. As my chest tightened, I gasped for breath. My heart was pounding so hard it felt like it might burst out of my ribcage. I kept having so many nightmares lately. I used to be a total insomniac, but now things were different all of a sudden. After a pause, I realized I was lying in bed in my room. Normally I never use this bed, often instead for the sofa. So what was I doing here? Confused, I looked around. The lights were off, and it was pitch black, but I could see the faint outlines of everything in the room. That's right. As my mind sharpened, the memories returned to me. I finished Equina's painting and ran out of the building. Then I got into a ball in the tunnel at the park, where a man in a suit spotted me. The next thing I knew, I lunged at him. Then I fell to the ground, and I heard someone's voice. Looking back, I realized the voice was Taco's. He must have carried me back to the clinic, but the man in the suit. I thought I didn't recognize him, but actually I did. He was sitting with Sagaki in the backseat of the car that day I was walking past the park. Why are they talking so loudly, man? His sharp eyes had left a lasting impression on me. With his perfectly pressed suit, he was the polar opposite of me in every way. Too bad our first interaction was me attacking him out of nowhere. At least I had never had to see him again. Oh boy! If you knew! I let out a long breath, then tried to sit up, but I could feel something tugging against me. I looked over to find a thin tube extending from my right arm, leading up to a metal stand to an IV bag hanging there. It didn't take a rocket scientist to figure out who was behind it. I ripped off the tip and yanked the needle out of my arm. A tiny prick of pain shot through me. Blood and IV fluid dripped from the injection site. I flung the IV needle away and gasped for breath. I felt sick. My mouth was dry. And my head hurt. The voice in my mind was silent for now, but in exchange, I feel sluggish and massively dizzy. I rose from the bed and walked over to the messy floor and flicked the lights on. Ah no, I escaped! Can't leave. The bright light made me squeeze my eyes shut on reflex, but after a few moments my mission adapted to it. My room was still every bit the disaster it had been when I left it. There were muddy clothes on the sofa. Right now, I was only on my underwear. Taku must have stripped me down before he put me to the bed. I grabbed my coat and pulled my phone out of my pocket. Then I found a message from AG. After Equinat was discharged from the hospital, he apparently abandoned his condo, and his current whereabouts were still under investigation. As for Kirihara, he had committed suicide several years ago. But he had a younger brother named Nozumu, so Eiji said he could look into him next. So I forgot that detail. Kirihara is desperately looking for someone that is already dead. I sent him a brief reply to confirm I had received his message. In his throat, is that? Wait, who are you talking about? Also, in my inbox was a newsletter with a thumbnail image of some deathmatch live streams, but I didn't bother opening it. I tossed my phone onto the sofa. Meanwhile, I thought about the events that led to my park execution last night. Nozumo, was that the Kirihara? I think... I mean, if he's the little brother, it has to be him, yeah. Now I don't remember if the picture that show... I think it's a small him, I think. I haven't checked that. I don't remember the first name of the other picture. I only noticed that it was Kirihara, because I think it was never mentioned his proper name, only his surname. It all started when Taco tried to fuck with my mail behind my back. I grabbed my pants and pulled the partly burned papers out from the back pocket. They were still damp, and the content had gone blurry from the rain. Thinking about Taco pissed me off all over again. Then I looked up at the clock on the wall. It was just past 2 a.m. I set the envelope and burned papers on the coffee table, then grabbed my phone and opened Eiji's newsletter. I needed some sort of distraction, and I figured a fistfight would do the job. Then the listing began to play. On the dimly lit screen, I could see live footage of two men currently in the deathmatch area. I could only faintly hear their voices, but my eye was glued to the screen. The men took turns punching each other. Oh, how I envied them. I yearned for an all-out fist fight. I wanted to be so irritated by the pain that I could scarcely think. Unable to finish my painting or find any answers to the question about my past, I could feel frustration building inside me. I needed to vent. I wishes I could erase myself completely. I had truly lost control of myself. Not that I ever had much self-control to begin with. I pulled on some clean clothes at random, strapped my coat on, stuffed my phone into my pocket and left the room. And I think we are going to leave it there, because I don't want to keep going when they are being so busy. But yeah, yes. So this has been Fujieda's route so far. Thoughts? So much info, yeah, and it's only the tip of the iceberg. We are just starting. There is so much going on. But it's the most clear tidbits into his past. Yeah, we are just getting started. Serio Fujieda so far. Yep. He will fit in. That's what I also thought at the beginning. But it will work out, don't worry about it. I will say this and phrase first episode and are like the most well written parts of the game. Because oh man, the one scene close to the end more or less of this route. Oh man, that was hard. Anyways, thanks for coming to the stream. Hopefully next time I won't have to mute myself that much. You didn't hear much of like background voices, right? I don't want to go over the boat and cut it again. It's such a pain in the ass. No, not really. Good. We're getting into it now. Yep. And get ready. Because this route is a ride. I said it properly. Okay, good. I made a decent job at muting myself in the right moment. Back. Title menu. Yes. Okay. Bye bye. See you in 2 days on the purple site.